Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you your preview and everything else you need to know for the Premier League clash tomorrow, the heavyweight clash, Tottenham versus Man City. We are joined by Jack Kanicki. He's back from his holiday, and we are joined by Shane from Paxton Road TV. And let me clear this up again for all the viewers. But his name is Shane, just to let everybody know. Jack, my man, how are you?
David, I'm keeping quite well. Thanks for holding down the fort for everybody, David. You did so well with it. And as well, I'm just, well rested, got a bit of sun as well, a bit of sunburn, which always, brightens things up for me as well. It's just good to be back. Good to be back with the Spurs. Good to be back with the lads.
No, look, it's great to have you back, guys. We didn't have that on the channel for the last few days either, just being a bit busy behind the scenes, getting everything prepared. As you can see, the new intro there provided by Bob Spur, I have to admit. I hope you guys like it too. But Shane, how are you keeping, my man?
I'm happy at this moment in time, quietly optimistic with the season to begin as of tomorrow. And it's always a good start to the season when them lot down the road get turned over. So I can't be all right. I'm all right. I'm good.
Yeah, look, before we welcome in the viewers, we usually welcome in the viewers now, but before we do, let's just take a minute to laugh at them. It's absolutely brilliant. Start as you mean to go on. We've got our Arsenal back, all that sort of jazz. Trust the process. Spend 50 million on what? 50 million on a guy who gets outdone in the air every time. Come on. What a waste. What a waste. Ben shite. Tottenham is white. Come on,
Ben shite, indeed.
Guys, they were absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. It was AFTV and chill yesterday. I'll be honest with you, I was a bit disappointed by the content. They weren't as angry and wound up as I thought they'd be. But it's always good to watch them lose. But look, let's bring in some of the people, some of the viewers, some of the followers, the Harris Army here. Arman Arnasia says, everywhere we go, he absolutely loves it. Come on, man, I'm absolutely pumped. Tottenham are back, baby. Woo! I'm seeing, yes, boys, big up. And we have Philip Brady. Anyone else getting nervous about Sunday? No nerves, my man. Only confidence here. It's first game of the season. Let's have it. Killian Kenny, big up, David Harris. I have time to watch you. How are things with you? Come on, what's your score prediction for Spurs versus Man City? Does the show finish at 11 p.m. tonight? Come on, Dublin. Killian, first of all, it's great to have you in. I hope things are well. I'm good. I hope you're good. Score prediction for tomorrow, I'm going Tottenham 2-1. We're at home. And yeah, look, come on, Dublin. I believe it ended in the draw. It went to extra time, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, it went to extra time. What happened? I didn't have time to watch it, Killian, but let me know. I lost interest after Kildare got knocked out, to be honest with you, lad. Bob Squash, V2 says, come on, you Spurs. DMT 1985 Harris Army, big up.
Big up.
Glea Kakaratis, absolutely brilliant. How are you?
Good to see you.
She says, yes, guys, who's back? It's Jack. Guess who's my fave? Is Dave, the Irish Hotspur. Manchester Richie. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Ellie. Good to see you in the chat. William McKenzie,
thanks for joining us, Ellie.
I hope things are well with you, lad. He says, I'm surprised that week one's results, teams are getting battered already. Yeah, few big results today. Dan N, everywhere we go, he's absolutely loving it. Big yourself up, Dan N.
Big up, William,
welcome, so he says it depends who plays in defence tomorrow, but I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Tom R, Tottenham till I die. Evening, Mr. Harris. Let's kick it off. Tottenham 2, City 1, Sun and Delhi. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love it. I'm seeing Reckons Dyer and Romero will play tomorrow. Dara says we can always laugh at Arsenal. They take it so easy to do. They make it so easy to do so. 100%, my man. It's absolutely there's nothing better than laughing at that scum. David, hello, Harris Army. Excited for tomorrow. Yes, we are. As you can see, the big grin on my face. Tottenham is back. Yeah, Yorkshire Yid says, hello, I hope you're keeping well, my man. Chris, he has good evening, Chris. I hope things are good. Dermot Miles in there. Can't wait to tomorrow, like Christmas Eve. Tottenham Tantrum, everybody get over and check out his Twitter. Big up, Dermot. I hope things are good with you. Who else have we got here? We have, it's Tony Hall says, how does it feel to be Arsenal? How does it feel to be small? They signed Ben White. We signed Christian Romero, 100%. Brian McGuire, who thinks Kane will stay? It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Edward Cav 17. Well, lads, come on, you Spurs. ATM nerds with us. I hope you're keeping well. Glad to be back. I'm glad to see you back.
Big up,
ATX 17. Big up, David, Jack, and Shane. Hope we get the win tomorrow. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, look, I'm sure it's not beyond the realms of possibility. And she says, woo, big up. No, that's not justice. Woo, big up, Shane. That's road, man. Nurse 17 says Arsenal next 6 fixtures are crazy. Yeah, look, sure, our opening 6 are crazy. Wayne Bonner's still laughing at the scum last night. We all are, my man. We all are. Eddie Ryan, I think Kane and Gill will play. Yeah, interesting shout.
We'll get into that talk.
Yeah, I have quotes from Nuno as well. So, I'm prepared. I'm prepared for today's stream, guys. I hope everyone enjoys it. Caleb Newsub, K. Alexander, The Purge, James Pittman. Big yourself up, James. We're all good. Much love. William Tiger says, do you think Lascelles on Delhi start? Well, we'll get into that.
We'll get into it.
Rapscallion, come on, you boys. Vinster 29, big yourself up. We have Matthew THFC, Collins evening, David. How are you, Jack? And Paxton Road TV. Eamon Burns, David, you watched the Dublin versus May game. Who do you support? I'll be honest with you, Eamon, I didn't. I got sent down to do the grocery shopping today, lad. So I had to sacrifice that, to be able to get down there before the shops close and get everything I needed prepared for today. Luke Cooper says Kane dropped. Yeah, it could be true. Tottenham up north tomorrow will show if Kane is staying or not, depending if he is in the squad or not. And if he actually plays well, we'll definitely touch on that. Don't worry, I have a lot of questions. Aidan W says, evening, guys. Mark Swiss says, smash that like and sub. And Mr. K, big up, Mr. K. I hope things are well.
Big up, Mr. K.
Make sure I haven't missed anybody. Nurse 17. Amir
Wayne
Sardar.
Bonner's in the building as well, David. Wayne Bonner's in the building. Dermot Wells is in the building. Good to see them both. But yeah, thank you. It's good back though. It's good to be back. Good to see all these wonderful faces in the chat.
No, it is. But look, we may as well get into it, guys. Before we do, make sure you don't forget to smash a like on the stream. Subscribe on the channel as well. Get those super chats in, guys. It really does help support the channel. As well, if the chat gets busy, I know not everyone's in a position to, so I will get everyone's comments up on stream. And it is hard to get, answer 200, 300 comments and stuff like that. So, guys, a super chat really does jump you to the front of the queue. And, we'll sit here and discuss your comment in great length as well. And as well, look, just make sure you smash that like. But, look, let's get into it. I'm going to give you everything you need to know now, guys. So, of course, we are at home. It's a 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Anthony Taylor is the man in the middle, the referee tomorrow. So, if we get anything goes wrong, we can blame him. Guys, as well, where you can watch the game. It's actually, I think it's on Sky Sports, but forget about that. Who wants to watch fraud sports? Join me on the pre-match pump up on We Are Tottenham TV starting at 2:30, 2:45. Where you guys, if you have a membership there, you can come on and share your thoughts leading up to the game. And, join me and I'll get you pumped. So make sure you join me over there. And, of course, then after that, I'll be over onto the Matt Hayes watch-along. But we believe we have a new host for the watch-along tomorrow, Jack.
Yeah, David, I've been actually so blessed and so honored to be actually, the backup host for Matty on his watch-alongs this season. So anytime that Matty isn't capable or won't be able to make it for the watch-alongs, you will be finding me as the host of Matt Hayes' watch-alongs on Matt Hayes Tottenham Blogs. I'm sure everybody has already heard of that channel by now, but if you hadn't already, please head on over to Matt Hayes Tottenham Blogs for, watch along tomorrow for me. We'll be there nice and early before the game to be able to talk some of the tactics, talk some of the big questions leading up into the game. And then going into the game, it'll be the watch along. Somebody that, maybe won't sound like, the Alan Smiths of the world, talking about the game. Somebody that might have a bit more of the better bias, let's say, somebody with a bit more of that positivity that we're looking for when we're talking about the first game of this season. So I'd be an honor if you guys could go check out Matt Hayes tomorrow and watch me on the watch along tomorrow.
As Ric Flair would say, woo!
Absolutely love it. So, guys, that's where you can join everybody for the matches tomorrow. Shane, have you anything for the match tomorrow that you want to plug?
We're not doing any watch-alongs. I said I'm not really a watch-along person because I think the language that I'll probably be using wouldn't go too well with younger viewers. But there's going to be a couple of our Paxton guys going to the game. So as soon as the game's finished, we're going to do match reaction, and they're going to get a bit of a live link up with a couple of the guys that have just literally come out the stadium. So all good. Everybody, as you have already said, excited for the season to start now. Can't wait.
No, we are pumped. But look, let's get into it. Spurs have lost. They lost 1-0 in their opening game against Everton last season. Jack, do you think we can hit the ground running this season, my man?
You know, David, actually, I do think we will, simply because I do think last season, I'm not sure if we went into it, with the same sort of mentality or the same sort of preparedness, one might say, that we might be going into this season. With Nuno, he works, the players really hard. He's already got plenty of them in fantastic shape. And he's also thinking plenty probably about the tactics. And as I've also said plenty of times about Nuno, he has plenty of scalps against some of the big teams. So, with maybe this opening game, who knows, David? He might be able to just take a nice early scalp and just get the ground running for us.
Yeah, I hope so, Jack. I really do. Wayne Bonner here with the super chat says, Jack, have you any stats on how laughable Arsenal are?
Not yet. To be honest, Wayne, like I said, I just came off of the vacation. I haven't even had really the time yet to really watch the full highlights of the game even. But believe me, Wayne, I will come with the stats, just to rub it all over them. Even might be a little bit better, Wayne, just to wait a couple of days, right? Think that they got away with it. Think that the Spurs fans forgot about it. And then we just hit them with the stats again, just to rub it in their faces. So, Wayne, we're just going to wait it out and just make this whole week horrible for them.
Wayne, I actually have one stat for you. And look, it means that you can only laugh at Arsenal half as much as we were able to last season because they have no European football, Wayne. So our time of laughing at Arsenal is definitely cut in half. So there's your stat, Wayne.
You have to laugh harder, Wayne. You have to laugh harder because you can't do it as much now. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. You have to enjoy it, Sit there in your jocks with the tub of Ben and Jerry's. You really have to go all out now. It's a rare moment. It's only once a week we can do it now. But big up, Wayne. Appreciate the super chat, my man, and the support. What an absolute legend. And I'm glad you can tune in tonight, not being at work and all that, and not having to be up early tomorrow. You're an absolute hero. Look, Shane, same to you. Do you think we'd be able to hit the ground running?
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this for weeks and weeks, knowing when the fixtures came out, seeing that it was Man City, seeing that we were at home in the first fixture. It's always, for me, there's never an ideal time to play City. But if there is going to be one, it's going to be start of the season. First game at home, fans are back in, everybody's buoyed, not been really in and around the grounds for the last 18 months. 60,000 people going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, new manager, new players coming in. We've obviously still got the saga of Kane. We'll touch on that in a little while, but it's just that excitement that should give the players another 5%. Right. The actual fans being in the stadium, it won't allow them to drop their levels and just stay, there's no fans here. Let's bring them back up. So there's going to be that opportunity to really rev behind them. And like I said, City, with some of the players that are not going to be playing tomorrow, having seen them against Leicester, this is an opportunity for us. I'm not saying we're going to go out and beat them 3 or 4-0. It's going to be a tight game, but they're certainly beatable tomorrow with the players that we've got, even without the likes of Harry Kane. I still think we've got enough to be able to go and outscore them tomorrow.
No, 100%. I fully agree with you. And look, for me as well, guys, look, I just want to say to people, send out a message. I'm not having any negativity going into the game tomorrow, none whatsoever. It's a negativity-free zone. I'm not having it. For me, I think we have to go in. We have to believe we can turn City over, slap Fraudiola a little bit, and basically beat Oil Money FC. I'm sick of them. I'm absolutely sick of them. At the Etihad, by the way, they're going to have oil prices running around on the advertisements now instead of advertisements. I'm absolutely sick of these frauds. You can't even sell out the stadium and they go and spend hundreds of millions every year. It's an absolute joke. But look, I truly believe we can go out there and win tomorrow. It's first game of the season. Look, if I'm look back over past seasons, Spurs notoriously don't start well for the first 5 games. But look, we've a tough opening fixtures of the first 6 games, very tough opening fixtures, and I think it's very important that we do hit the ground running tomorrow. Even if we don't win, take a draw, we definitely need to hit the ground running tomorrow. But look, Shane, back to you. Tomorrow's Nuno's first game in charge. It's against last season's Premier League champions, against one of the best managers in world football. Do you think he'll be able to cope with the pressure?
Who's that, Nuno?
Yeah.
One of the things that I know from Nuno's time at Wolves, as Jack's already mentioned, he's done well against some of the bigger teams. He knows how to set up against them, albeit they've got probably a weaker squad than what we have. They're still able to set up well. They've always given us problems, and like I said, notoriously they've given the big 6 problems anyway. So I think tactically he'll be able to set his team up well. Is he going to be under pressure? Yeah, he's under. You can already tell he's under a lot of pressure. He's done well considering we've had all the saga with him getting the job in the first place. Now all the saga with Kane, all the saga of some of the players that they've talked about, Delhi, who's going to be staying, who's not, Sanchez, Dyer, Sissoko, Winks. There's so much going on. Paratici coming and having to do a job. He's probably having to deal with so much. But one of the things I was initially concerned about Nuno was, is he going to be able to cope in, those press conferences when they ask them tough questions? Can he deal with it? The first one I think was a little bit rattled was, I think it was after the Chelsea game when there was some questions being asked and he looked like he was really holding his head. But then after that, he seems to have had a lot more composure. He really dealt with some of the questions that was asked of him over yesterday when he was asked about, Kane situation, Tanguy, and he dealt with it well. He wasn't rude. He didn't come across as being sarcastic. He was just genuine in what he said, but he was forthright. And he made sure that the press knew, I'm going to deal with this. I'm not going to talk about that. I'll talk about this in how you want me to say it, but I'm not going to go into specifics. And that's what I want to see. Somebody who doesn't go, oh, shit, and, I'm in an RN and looks like he's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, no, 100%. Wayne Bonner says, Pep's Nuno's bitch, 3-1 Tottenham. Yeah, hopefully, do you know what? Like Shane was saying, Tottenham actually, has a very good record against the top 6 teams. He knows how to take points from them. He sets up well against them. And for me, they always underestimate him going in because he's not a guy who likes to press. He doesn't like to be in front of it. But he does all his talking on the training pitch and it replicates it in matches. And look, there's no better time to play City. Do I think the pressure will get to Nuno? I don't, I actually don't. For me, I actually think he's going to thrive on it, to be honest with you. And I genuinely believe we're going to cause an upset tomorrow. And I think we're going to start the season well. Look, there's no better time to play City. I'm going to give everybody the team news. Nuno's quotes from the press conference. And we even have a little sneaky preview of Stats with Jack for you, a little 5-10 minute thing on it for you guys. To see what
like that.
Yeah, Shane, we showed Shane. He absolutely loves it. But no, look, I honestly don't think the pressure will get to Nuno. I just think he's one of these people. He just has to. He sits in front of the camera because he has to. But behind the scenes, I think he's a very, very intelligent guy, and I don't think it will get. And judging on his past results, I know it was with Wolves, but it's proven. Jack, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, David, I'm actually with you. And even, I don't think the pressure will get to him. Even at the, his club Valencia, David, he actually still, kind of continued that form of, taking a lot of scalps. He had a really good record against Barcelona. He had a really good record against Atletico. Obviously had that, classic win against Real Madrid that we've all seen that, tactical breakdown for. He is kind of a guy that has in plenty of teams with maybe lesser teams, you might say, been able to kind of, stand up to the bigger teams, been able to kind of stand toe to toe with them tactically, as Shane said before, but also I think even mentally, he seems to be able to prepare his players to be able to kind of take on these teams. And we might have even seen a sneak peek of it in the preseason with how we were able to come back against Chelsea, how we were able to just smash the scum. It really is. Maybe he's also instilling maybe a better winning mentality, David. So to be honest, I'm going to be really, really, really positive here, David. I'm just going to say he's going to absolutely smash it tomorrow and going to really show the team that we are going to be fully prepared for the season to come. Honestly, David, even with the press conferences, some people think he's kind of a bit weird in the press conferences. If I would say he's actually just not a fan of the press. He doesn't really like really speaking to them. He doesn't really want to give too much away, which is completely understandable. And then as well, if you kind of take that into mind, he's actually quite class, I would say, in front of the press. Like even the other day, he was saying, in terms of the Harry Kane situation, that it's just the press's confusion, not his. And I found that just to be a fantastically philosophical answer. Sometimes when with the press, David, you don't have to leak everything away. You don't have to tell them everything. Sometimes you can't always feed the birds every day, right? So it's just, he's a smart lad. He's a smart lad. That's all I'll say. And I'm looking forward to him handling the pressure well. Yeah,
100%. I am too. And Wayne Bonner, I love the confidence with the 3-1 score prediction, my man. Absolute legend. Wayne. And it's well outside, so I can't say Pepsi's Nuno's bitch, and we're going to make him his bitch tomorrow. Wayne Bonner says, can you see Scarlett getting any minutes tomorrow? I don't know. Do you know what? I don't think tomorrow will be the right game to throw him in. I'll be honest with you. I think we should save him for the likes of a Palace or a Wolves if we're a couple of goals up and we can blood him in. But I don't think it's me personally, Wayne. I don't think it's the time to get him in tomorrow. I think he'll be on the bench, but I'll be very surprised if he comes on, Wayne. I really would be, my man. I appreciate the support and the super chat, my man. Everyone else, keep getting the super chats in, guys. Keep getting them in. Get your questions, your thoughts, everything else in. Look, City had they haven't lost an opening game since 2011, Shane. Are we basically facing the impossible tomorrow, do you think?
No, you know why? Because there's a number of City players out, and I'm not sure. Kevin De Bruyne, I definitely think's out. I think Phil Foden's supposedly out as well. There's a couple others that I've heard supposedly not going to be playing. Not to say they haven't got players to replace them. Obviously, they have. But the point I'm trying to make is we look a lot fitter. The last couple of games, particularly against Arsenal in that second half, where we were, we kept on going. Arsenal had the majority, say 20, 30 minutes spell in that first half. But then second half, we were consistent in our physicality, in our, the ability for them to keep going. And that showed. I think this is what's going to get us through tomorrow. The fact that these lads are going to be able to press. Because as I said, I think we're going to play a bit of a pressing game. But it's going to be a tactical press, not just mad pressing all around the pitch for no reason, but a coordinated press in certain areas of the pitch. And I think when we get to the tactical side of things, I'll be able to explain a little bit more how I think that can work. Do I think that City will be poor? No, they're not going to be poor. Of course they're not. City will come with an approach to win the game. But we know how they're going to play. Unless Pep brings a complete difference. He doesn't usually go to freeze. That's the only time he maybe sometimes does a free if he's playing, a cagey game in the Champions League. But usually he comes out and plays his 4-3-3. This is the way I play. My forwards are going to be wide. I'm going to get the ball into midfield. I'm going to play for you guys, and we're going to keep possession, and then we're going to score more than you. And that's his philosophy. That's how he does it. We know that. Nuno knows that. It's now, can we employ a game plan that will nullify their strengths and also deal with the fact that we're going to have some strengths of our own to kind of, combat and do. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it from a tactical perspective as well.
Yeah, same here. And Jack, same to you, my man. Like, City, they do tend to hit the ground running, as proven, unbeaten in their first, in the last 10 years in their opening game of the season. Look, some say it's a good time to play them, but obviously, shown by the stats, it's not. What's your prediction? Are we facing the impossible tomorrow? Because I know everyone calls you Statman Jack. So
yeah, I was just going to say, David, I might be going against the stats here, and a lot of people might not appreciate that. It is a bit maybe hypocritical, but I will say, with City, they didn't actually have such a strong start to the season last season. Maybe they are a team supposedly that might not have the the strongest of starts to begin with. Let's just maybe stay optimistic and say that. But I would say, opening games of the season, it doesn't matter, I feel like, what preseason form or what previous last season form is going into it. Really, everybody goes into it practically with a fresh start, with a clean slate, especially like us with a new manager and practically, newer players coming in as well to, spark the dressing room. Whereas with City, it's not so many new players into the dressing room apart from Grealish. It's supposedly, mostly the same team as last season. And then as well, they lost the Champions League final. They didn't get what they wanted with the oil money. You might be thinking there could be possibly some bad vibes in the dressing room, maybe some, some fraudiolas maybe being spoken about. So who knows, David? But I would personally say, David, it is actually the best time to play City, maybe is what you were asking. And I really hope we can actually, maybe prevent that, really difficult stat to overcome that you mentioned.
And you can't underestimate the power of the fans as well. I've just looked at all the games so far this season. Obviously, I know that 3 years ago, we had fans in the stadium. That's fine. But having not had them consistently for 18 months, that's a massive, massive impact on the game. I've seen the games that have been played. I looked at the Brentford one as a prime example. Their fans were going mental, absolutely crazy. And so they should. They've never been in the Premier League before. We've got a brand new stadium which really hasn't been utilised over the last year and a half. We're now going to have, hopefully, a capacity stadium with everybody excited. If we'd have gone into this season possibly with the hangover from what we had back in the last season, Ryan Mason maybe hanging around, Jose possibly still hanging around, we would have maybe gone into this with a little bit, what, we're going to... But no, everybody's got a new start. It's a new page. We've got a new manager. We're looking like we're getting things on the right track. The effect that Paratici's having, although we haven't got all the players we want yet, is looking like it's going in the right direction. We just need to get a few things over the line, but also get behind the team. I'm sick of all this, it's Irish with this and the well. Right, okay, we can deal with all that, but once we come to play the game of football, get behind your team, want them to win. We'll deal with the afterwards and reactions afterwards. We can go into everything about the players. I will do that myself. If somebody's had a shit game, I'll say they've had a shit game. But before that, I'm not going to say, I can't believe we don't know what they're going to do until they play. We don't know.
Shane, get the priest collar on because you are a preacher, my man. I was
just going to say, Shane,
No,
I need to
love
clip
it.
that.
Preach
I need
that.
to clip that. I need that I need to wake up to that tomorrow. It's going to be my morning alarm. Just
if I knew how to
for the pre-match pump up, David.
I'm telling you, look, if I knew how to, I'd be clipping that and putting it everywhere. I really would. He's the preacher. Shane is nicknamed the preacher now. We have his nickname. Bob Spur TV says we can't overlook the fact City have players out. And we're looking good. City are slowly becoming my most hated team. 3-1 Spurs, Kane to get the third. Yeah, look, Bob. Yeah, I'm going to get onto the team news, so I'm not going to comment on that part because that's coming up next. But look, we are looking good. We look good pre-season. We haven't lost a game. The momentum is with us, you know. So hopefully we can take that into the City game. We're feeling good, looking good. And look, City are already my most hated team. As soon as they took over, I was jealous. So they're my most hated team. They are. Look, honestly, look, they can't fill out the stadium. It's like a library. It's like the Emirates. You know, their jerseys are a shit colour. I don't like any of their players, really, to be honest with you. I hate the guy they have managing. I just hate everything about them. I want to see them getting relegated, to be honest with you. And Kane to get the third. I actually have a good Kane question later on. I actually do. I haven't heard anyone speak about this, so it'd be interesting to get people's answers on it. But big up, Bob Spur. I really appreciate the support, my man.
Big up, Bob. Thanks for the support.
We'll be doing a raid on your stream later on. Don't you worry about that. But big up, Bob Spur. I really appreciate the support.
Everyone big up Bob Spur in the comments. He's been helping out a lot in terms of, just helping David and I, with some of the more complicated tech stuff. David and I have been trying to, learn ourselves, and become a bit more, let's say a bit more tactically better that way in terms of the tech. But, Bob is definitely the king of it and has helped us out tremendously. So everybody big up Bob in the comments. He's been very helpful to us, David.
No, he has. Look, he made the new intro for us this season and he made the intro for Jack's channel. That'll be dropping next week as well, guys. So big up Bob Spur. Thanks very much for the help on that. Jose David Perez Cecido. Look, no one needs four names, so I'm going to give you one, and it's David, and it's my name. It's the greatest name on the planet, So we're just going to nickname you David from now on. We have a little team of Davids in here. We have David from Korea, and we have a few other Davids. So you're going to be a part of the David army, my man. Big yourself up. And we have another super chat to get to as well. We have Dusty Tones. He says, regardless of whether Romero starts tomorrow, how quickly do you see him settling into the squad? Start off with a bang or a slow burner? Yeah, look, I'll get the answers off the boys there quickly. Look, for me, I actually don't think he will play, Dusty, to be honest with you. I really don't think he will play tomorrow. Reason being, and I'll get on to it later on, is Nuno's quotes in the press conference. It doesn't convince me that he'll play, I'll be honest with you. How quickly do I see him settle into the squad? I think it'd be like a duck taken to water, my man. Honestly, I do. It'd be seamless. It'd be absolutely seamless. I'm telling you, this guy's going to fit in perfectly. Look, he was purposely brought in to suit Nuno's style. We're going to be pressing. This guy puts most pressures on anybody. This guy's an absolute animal. And, I think he'll start off with a bang. I really do. Jack, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, David, to be honest, I don't think it will be a slow burn at all. It's not even really probably what, Romero even understands. He probably doesn't even understand that type of reference. He's just only starts off with a bang. He's practically moved into Atalanta, and within, his initial start there has become one of their best defenders, and maybe the last, decade, you might say, has practically been one of the best defenders in all of Serie A with such a quick start moving into the Serie A. So to be honest, David, he just seems like a guy who isn't a slow burn at all. The only disappointing thing is that he will not be probably playing in the first game against City, a very important game. But I do think, once he gets going, once he's put into the starting lineup, he's only going to be our favorite defender practically. He's going to be just that dog behind Højbjerg, almost Højbjerg's cleanup man. He may be, and honestly, I can't wait for them, to be shoving Arteta into the dressing room, after he gets too close to them on the touchline or anything like that. To be honest, it'd be great to see, Højbjerg, when he's talking to Arteta, have Romero right behind him, it would just be glorious, David, have two dogs finally on the pitch.
I'd absolutely love Højbjerg to square up to Guardiola tomorrow because that's Fraudiola and he's Cone bitch Arteta. That'd be 2 and 2 weeks.
The Cone man.
Lego head, his hair never out of place. But look, Shane, what's your thoughts on Dusty Tone's great super chat here with Romero? Obviously, hold a bit back because I will be asking you on Romero in a few minutes.
Sure.
Don't give all your strategies away, lad.
No. I don't think Romero will start. couple of reasons. One, they did say he had a slight knock when he came back, although all the training shots, all the footage shows that he's training well. The other thing, though, is I think it would give him an opportunity just to even soak in that atmosphere, being on the bench. I don't care who you are, to come into any league and just be thrown into it is a tough start. Give him a little opportunity to see what it's like, to see, the razzmatazz that's going to be at our stadium, when it's full.
Oh, was that you just said, razzmatazz?
Razzmatazz, old school word there. I'll bring an old school word. I love an old school word. So it'll give him a chance to see all of that, experience a match day scenario. But then, as well as that, he can also look from the bench and say, okay, I can see where I can fit into this team. I know he's going to play first team football anyway, but he can probably have a look and see, right, that's the aspect I need to do. The other thing is he's come from Italian league, which notoriously has very good defenders anyway. So for him to be the best defender in the league last year says a lot about him. We want him to defend. I don't care if he doesn't bring the ball out from the back. I don't really care if he doesn't go up and score headers from set pieces. I don't care. As long as he defends and makes sure he keeps as many clean sheets as possible, that's his job. If he does his job for us well, as he did at Atalanta last year, and becomes, let's say, the Premier League's defender of the year, we'll have a really, really good season.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't know about is whether or not is he going to be able to have the leadership qualities, not being able to speak the language fluently at the moment. Is he going to have that leadership aspect that we're going to need? Alongside him, he's going to either have Dyer or he's either going to have Sanchez, unless they throw a curveball in and throw Tanganga in. That's my only concern at the moment, unless we get somebody who's going to be a natural leader that's going to help him. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player anyway. So let's hope after the City game that he comes in and he will be the main man for us.
Yeah, absolute superb analysis, Shane, to be honest with you. And look, that's why the Harris Army love you so much. That's why they love the leader of Paxton Road coming on. Dusty Tones, look, there's your answers to the super chat, my man. I hope you enjoyed the answers, and I hope you got what you wanted from it, my man. I appreciate the support. Hotspur Reaction says, come on, you Spurs, let's win this and make a statement victory. Stackademics, love the name. That's a quality name, actually. Says, big up you lot. I appreciate that. Belfast 72 says, can't wait to see us playing attacking football. We have three super chats to get to, guys. Wayne Bonner says, what's Jack's channel called?
Wayne Bonner, I really love that you said that. It's going to be called flatcapeurotalk. It's going to be your source for any of the flat cap European Champions League, anything, outside of Tottenham and, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, whatever you're looking for. That's what it's going to be for. It's going to be basically an extension of me and David from the Harris Army to maybe a bit more of the general European football. Going to be a bit more open, to maybe a bit of other fans of other clubs. We're not going to be too nice to them, don't worry. But as well, though, it's just going to be not when David on, or really as well. I'm going to still make it plenty clear where my allegiance lies, but it will be kind of that general European content. So you, as the football fan you are in the Harris Army, to be able to stay connected with the greater teams and all the action that's outside of Tottenham, so that it'll be basically your news source, your place, just to maybe stay focused and stay maybe a bit informed on the stuff that's going on outside of Spurs. So Wayne, it's going to be called Flat Cap Euro Talk, and I really do appreciate it. And Wayne, I also appreciate all the support that you had during our Euros, live streams. He's been such a fan of that type of content, David. So Wayne, I hope you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, he has been. He has been, to be fair. And look, I know Wayne had a good summer. I know he enjoyed himself chilling out with the beers, enjoying himself. And Wayne, look, basically, it's going to be your home for all European football, my man. Any of the Harris Army that wants to know about what's going on in France, Germany, Spain, Italy, look, might even cover Turkey. Who knows? You know what I mean? But,
oh, David, you have to. You have to. There definitely will be one. There definitely will be one.
But look, guys, it's your home for European football. There'll be watch-alongs. Look, honestly, it's going to be fantastic content. So you need anything you need to know about any other football apart that's not Tottenham, it's going to be your home. Trust me. So big up, Wayne Bonner. Absolutely appreciate that. Sean Snow says, "Oh, Kane out of the photo shoot means goodbye." No, not necessarily, because the photo shoot could have taken place before he returned his negative COVID test and joined up with the team on Friday. So, Sean, it doesn't necessarily mean goodbye. No, it just probably means that with the protocols and everything else, that they just couldn't get the picture taken, my man. So I wouldn't be reading too much into that, to be honest with you. But appreciate the support, Sean. Appreciate it, my man. And to be interested to know, is that the American way of spelling Sean? Because over here we spell it Shaun. So I just
I've
love
seen
to
that
know,
one
man.
as well, David. I think maybe in the US it just goes both ways, David. I think it just goes both ways, but we have both of them. Two for the price of one in terms of Sean. But I will say, David, you might be right in terms of Harry Kane and the photo shoot. I just think maybe it was probably filmed maybe a bit earlier than we might have thought, and then as well, maybe Harry Kane, he might actually, clog up the line, for the photo shoots, David. He probably has extra photos he has to take compared to other players, kind of like Sonny. I think Sonny was kind of clogging up the line. He has all the extra photos and extra movements that he has to do, to sell the jerseys, sell the products as well. So it's probably just they're thinking they need to give Kane his own day for, the photo shoot.
Yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
100%. Aglaya Kakaratis, guys, everyone check out our Spurs story. It was absolutely phenomenal. The reaction off it's been brilliant. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say for now, but keep your eye on Ellie. But big up, Ellie. Thank you for the super chat. She says, we love you, Tottenham. We do. In Nuno, we trust. So give it a big woo! We're back. Honestly, I'd nearly get Shamu on every time just to give all the woos out to people. Honestly, just have Shamu sitting there. All right, Shamu, your turn. Woo! Big up, Ellie. Look, I'm as excited as you are. I am excited. Believe me. Honestly, tomorrow I'm going to be up nice and early. I'm going to treat myself to a nice cappuccino. I'm not just going to go with any of the blended stuff where you put the powder in and mix it. I got the machine there.
The barista skills,
I have
David.
a nice cappuccino. Trust me, I might even put a Spurs crest on the top of it in chocolate. Because I am a trained barista as well. Yeah. I'm a man of many talents, actually, so I'll be able to do that. So I might treat myself with that.
Can't go wrong with a little bit of a caramel flavouring on top as well, David. A little bit of caramel. Oh, I
prefer hazelnut, Shane. I prefer hazelnut, to be honest. A nice bit of hazelnut blend in it. Absolutely perfect, lad. So, and then look, I have the pre-match pump up, so I might even have a little sandwich or something before then, so I don't go in hungry. Or I might even keep myself hungry. I have the eye of the tiger in me and go in with all the fighting talk. Who knows? But Ellie, I'm excited, super, super excited. And of course, we have to trust Nuno. He's the guy in charge. He's the big man. He's the man in the dugout. We have to trust this guy. And look, before last season, if we would have appointed him off the back of finishing sixth twice in a row with Wolves, everybody would have been pulling their pants down and running up and down the high street with that, celebrating with that appointment. So it's not as disappointing, I don't think, as people think, Ellie. I think it's going to be a good one. We do have to get behind him 100%. I appreciate the super chat and the support. Everyone, keep getting your super chats in, guys. The chat is absolutely hopping. I'm doing my best to get the comments up here. But like I said, you want to jump the queue, get the super chats in. Jack, do you want to say anything to Ellie?
No, Ellie, it's good to have you back. It's good to be back with you, Ellie, as well. And also, thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate the support as always, Ellie. And also, I will absolutely give that Nuno that big woo, because Nuno he's the philosopher. He looks so incredibly smart in the press conferences and the way that he kind of, dips and dives around the reporters' questions. To be honest, I'm just more than excited with Nuno as well. I'm just need to find out, David, what type of beard routine he's, going through, because David, he didn't even give us too much on that. He doesn't even want to give the press too much on how he handles his beard. Away. He can't give away too many secrets. He can't give away too many secrets. No. Absolutely. So, Ellie, it's really good to be back, and also really always appreciate the support as well.
No, it is. But guys, keep getting the support in, guys. It's absolutely incredible. But look, Jack, I'm going to take over here with the team news. So like any good teammate, if you can take over, bringing up the comments on screen, lad, we'll start the season as we mean to go on. So look, guys, team news is that Nuno will make a decision on Harry Kane after he joined up with the squad on Friday after returning a negative COVID test. Romero is to be assessed after the injury he sustained at the Copa America. And Tanganga is fit after coming off against Arsenal, I believe. And as well with Session on his back in training, but I wouldn't expect him to be a part of tomorrow's plans. Four-man shitty, and I did say shitty, yes. De Bruyne is out with his ankle. Foden is out with his foot. It's probably a bruised toenail. I know Jack likes to call him Mighty Cyrus. Probably just a little bruised toenail, or he has a hair out of place. Probably upset him. And Jack Grealish, he's in line to make his debut. But look, can he pick up the slack from De Bruyne and Foden? It's a huge, huge ask. So we're going to get into some questions off the back of the team news, guys. And I hope everyone's liking the new format here, because I'm going to bring you some quotes direct from Nuno. And Nuno's one of the quotes when he was asked basically about the team news, one of the first things he said was, players who have not had many training sessions, and that is the case of Romero, Hill, and Kane. I better get that correct, or I'd be absolutely ruined. My reputation would be tarnished in the comment section.
Especially all the new Spanish fans that are coming in, David. You know, we have to start brushing up on the pronunciation.
100%, senorita. We still have a long way. We still have a long way in front of. Where was I? Yeah, so Romero, Gill, Kane. We have to be careful with and have to consider that we still have a long way in front of us. So let's try to make good decisions that in no way cause problems to the player. So look, I'll start with you, Shane. I'll let you come on this, my man. Does this mean all the players who didn't have a preseason won't start tomorrow, or does it mean we will only see kind of like one? Because the last thing you want to do is throw in two or three of them, and you know you don't have players that are 100%. You could get away with one, aka a Harry Kane or Romero or something like that. So do you think none of them play, or maybe just one of them play off the back of them comments?
If anybody was going to play of all those players, it probably would be Harry Kane, just because obviously Harry Kane knows the system. He's the main man. He's not come from anywhere. He's not a new player that's just been signed. The problem I've got if Harry Kane does start is what message it sends out to the rest of the squad in terms of, you know, as we've seen before, doesn't matter. Harry Kane could be 25% fit. A big game comes along, he gets thrown in. This situation is slightly different. Obviously, we don't know his fitness levels, but he can't be at the level of fitness which we can say, yeah, he can just go in and play, because he's obviously been away for a long time. I'm just reading out some of the names here, players that potentially will be on the bench. So just listen to this. So we've got Sissoko, we've got Winks, we've got Grealish, we've got Kane, we've got Romero, we've got Hill. Those are 6 names already without the likes of Scarlett, without the Whitemans, all those other players that potentially could. So we've got quite a strong bench if those players weren't to play. I don't want to see Harry Kane start, but I want to see him available. I want to see what reaction the crowd gives him if he is sat on the bench. You know, if he goes straight into the starting 11, what's that going to? Because Bergwijn's going to miss out, or Lucas is going to miss out. For me, it's probably going to be Bergwijn or potentially Ali. Is that going to set them off on the right foot for the rest of the season? Potentially not. But even then, if Kane goes cut, let's say by the end of August, that's even a worse situation. We're going to have these players who are going to think, you know what, I'm surplus to requirements, because as soon as the golden boy comes back, he's in. So let's put him onto the bench. Let's have him there available. Let's see what his attitude's like. See what sort of reception the fans give him as well. But play more so to that team, or certainly the way that team played against Arsenal. And I think that's what we're going to probably see, that same starting 11 potentially, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And Bob Sport TV says Nuno looked like he's been treating his beard with club tradition, history, and downright confidence. Just as much as Shane, lad. You know, before every stream, he sits there, combs his beard, make sure. So just as much as Shane, my man.
I've got the Nuno Grey as well. Look at that. The Nuno Grey is what I call it as well.
Oh, just for men selling that now, Shane. Just for men selling the Nuno Grey.
They selling that for real?
I might go and get some as well. You know, I could turn into a silver fox overnight, lad. You know.
Oh wow, the Nuno Grey.
I may hit them up. I'm telling you, lad. We're onto something here. The Nuno Grey from Just for Men. You know, Jamie Redknapp.
Might as well get it started early, David. I could do it down here, maybe. You know, match it with the hairline there.
Early.
Nice.
I'm getting some of that just to do the side bits here. It's all right here, but them side bits, I just need them to come through as well.
I'm on the same thought there. Yeah, exactly, Shane. I'm on the
I'm
same.
telling you, Shane. Honestly, your missus won't be happy, lad. You'll be a pussy man. You'll not walk out with a baseball bat to my way, lad.
This is live.
Joel H says, "What would your team be for tomorrow?" Look, Joel H, I'll be honest with you. I'm actually going to release a predicted lineup in about 2 hours' time as a separate bit of a recording. So I'm not going to give mine. Jack's not going to give his. But I'm going to let Shane take this.
Yeah, lovely. I like that.
Big up, Joel. Big up, Joel. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Joel, for letting us plug it.
Yeah,
let me just get that cough out of the way.
Joel, you must have read my mind. Like Jack said, you've given us an opportunity to plug it. I hope you don't mind, my man. Look, if you do, put it in the comment section. I'll give you mine now anyway. But I hope you don't. But hopefully Shane's is satisfying. Take a away, Shane.
Okay, so I think we've seen the majority of the games that we've played. We've deployed a 4-1-2-3 system, a 4-3-3 in essence. I think tomorrow we're going to maybe see a slight tweak in that, and I'll explain a little bit of reasons why. I think we're probably going to go to a 4-2-3-1. The reason for that is what City like to do. They play in a 4-3-3, and they do play with that one who will play in that holding midfielder role. If you've got a number 10 who plays in that one in front of the two, they can be in direct contact with that person. So it doesn't make it easy for City to play out the back. They are going to play out the back. all their other players, when they play from the keeper, are all going to be wide. So the fullbacks are going to be really wide. The centre-backs will split. So what Spurs could now employ is if they can get their three forwards close in, put the pressure onto the centre-backs if they get the ball. Let them play out wide, because the best players are not out wide for City. The best players are usually central. Don't let them play centrally. Let them play out wide and deal with them having to cross the ball or playing long. So for that reason, I think we're going to go with a 4-2-3-1. In terms of the players that are going to play, I see Tanganga playing at right back. I see the centre-back pairing being, although it's not my ideal, Sanchez and Dyer. Obviously, Lloris in goal for me. Left back with Reguilon. The two holding midfielders, and this is really what I want to see in terms of a partnership going forward, because I think this is going to be really good. Højbjerg and Skip side by side, because they both have an attacking intent as well. We've seen that from Højbjerg in the Euros. He can get forward. He can then join Ali sometimes to make that too, but he's also got a good defensive mind and a good defensive shape that we can rely on both of them to mop up and go out wide if they need to join in and attack with. If they need to help the fullbacks defend as well. So that's why I want them to have the two. Dele Alli will play in that one. What it does for Dele Alli is gives him less responsibility defensively to track back. When we see him play off the left of a 4-3-3, if he gets bypassed, his recovery runs are shocking. And if Reguilon's further up the pitch as well, there's a massive space in that left-hand side, right-hand side for us, which is going to be a problem. They'll exploit that all day with people like Mahrez or whoever's going to be playing that side. So get Dele Alli probably playing at 10. He can then do what he's done best and join in, going making them late runs, but also just give him that defensive role to get alongside Fernandinho or whoever's playing in that number 6 role just in front of there too. And the front three, I think the front three is going to be Bergwijn, Lucas, and Son. I think Son is going to be our main man from now on. Yeah. I can really see that. That's my team.
Well, there you are, Joe.
Brilliant.
Look, you got a very good answer off Shane there, to be honest. Thank God we went to Shane, because he answered better than what we would have.
Probably better than we would have, David. Yeah, probably better.
No, absolutely brilliant by Joe. Hey, so I want to say there's over 300 people watching. So make sure you do follow Shane's channel, guys, Paxton Road TV, if you're enjoying what he has to say. Everything is in the description below, guys. Check it out. All the hook links for social media, channels, everything else is below. And instead of me boring you guys with just saying smash a like and subscribe on the stream, let's try this. So there you are, guys. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. And as well, guys, I keep getting the super chats in. Like I said, I'm sorry we can't get to everybody's comments. I'm trying to get them up on screen, guys. The super chat, like I said, does help you skip the queue. The queue. Sorry, not the queue. It's not Thomas the Tank. Sorry, guys. The queue. And it's a great way to help support the channel as well, guys. Joel H back again. Really want to see Højbjerg and Skip play. But I have a feeling Winks will start. Joel, honestly,
no way.
Nightmares, man. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Can't do that. No, time out.
Yeah, Joel, time out, lad. You're going to the ball corner. Honestly.
No joke.
Honestly. No, look, you're giving me nightmares, man. I was thinking this was a Harry Winks free zone today. I was thinking he's nowhere near selection, nowhere near contention. But look, someone had to do it. But look, I'll be honest, I hope he doesn't start. If he starts tomorrow, we're going to get railroaded. And let me be honest, the reason why I say that is because anytime he plays, and you can go back and look at the Arsenal game, I've said this a long, long time ago, but look at the Arsenal game in pre-season. We were bombing that game as soon as he came on. Even though it was the last 5 minutes, they just ran straight at us and got some pop shots off. When Harry Winks plays, he doesn't like the physicality, so he won't get stuck in. He won't get his head up and turn on the ball either. And that's why you see him playing the backwards and sideways passes, never on the half turn for me.
What does he offer? What does he offer? He doesn't offer anything. He doesn't offer anything. He's not a goal threat.
Shane. He's plenty good. Shane, he's plenty good handling the rides at Levy Land. David, Shane, you're writing him off too. You're writing him off too early, Shane. I've heard he's quite good at Levy Land. I heard Daniel Levy's got a good spot for him. With the water rafting. On plenty of sorts. Supposedly he's a good park attendant. So to be honest, that might be the best place for him. So there might still be a home for him.
He offers fuck all. Let's be honest. I don't want to be swearing, but this guy gets me irritated, right? He does me. Right, the only thing he offers is homegrown from the academy, and he accounts on the little squad sheets that go into the FA. Right, that's all he counts for. This guy is ridiculous. Honestly, he's honestly just nickname him Mr. Safe. You know, because the guy, he doesn't know how to take a risk. Honestly, I'd say his missus gets so disappointed, you know. Oh, Harry, let's get a bit risky. No, honestly, can't be doing that now, honestly. I don't like that, honestly. It's a joke. The guy fucks me off. He's useless. He is useless. But honestly, Joe,
no way you can play.
My man, you've done it. You've got me going. I think that's what you wanted secretly. You've got me going. I'm off the leash now.
Yeah, for real.
This guy's a joke. Honestly, he is banter. He's just banter boy. That's what he is. But Joel, big up for the super chat, man. Really do appreciate the support, my man. I really do. And guys, let me know in the comment section if you're enjoying me bringing Nuno's quotes. I have to say, I'm quite enjoying it. But look, we'll go to Jack. Did I get your thoughts on?
No, I think I'll just quickly answer, David. Yeah, to be honest, I'm in complete agreement with Shane there. I do think if any of the players from that list that you mentioned, I think it might be Kane, and I do think he'll probably be coming off the bench at some point, either maybe to just tap in the fourth, for the 4-0, or maybe to get us back into the game, So I'm completely in agreement, though, with Shane, and I think he actually said it perfectly there. So, yeah, I'm going to say Kane as well would be the most likely one to feature.
Yeah. 100%. And Pavey, look, this is what I actually really wanted to say. I just didn't know if I could say it, but fuck it. Yeah, look, honestly, lad.
Missionary Winks for real. That is his name.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, the missus turns around to my Winks. Can we get a bit risky tonight? Risk? What does that mean? You know what I mean? No, babe, just missionary. What are you talking about? Honestly, look, the guy's just, he's boring. Let's be honest, Mr. Boring. That's what we're calling him.
But the thing is, if I could understand it, because people are going on about, he's not being played in his right position. We should build a team around him. Are you mad? He's got nothing. He doesn't offer anything. He doesn't offer any goal threat. He hasn't got pace. He doesn't put any tackles in. I don't think his passing is that great. He doesn't look forward. He receives the ball in a compromising position, which means he has to play a certain way. I want to see all my central midfielders checking the show. He doesn't beat players. Come on, let's not start, because I was enjoying this stream up until that point.
I bet you, guys. I bet you more than anything. When he has an injury, he limps around the house. He has a stair lift. He has crutches and a wheelchair. Everything, mobility scooter. What's wrong with you, Harry? I stubbed my toe off the end of the bed. And why are you going around on a mobility scooter? I'm injured, babe. Honestly, he's a pleb. The guy's a pleb. Shane, look, enough of Winks. I have to get off him. He's put me in the bad mood. Would you start Kane tomorrow, Shane? And if he doesn't start tomorrow, is that call made by Harry Kane or Nuno? Great question, Dave.
Oh, that's such a tough one. I think it could be more than just the ability for Kane to be physically fit. There could be a lot of political reasons. There could be a lot of, brinksmanship, gamesmanship between us and City with Kane playing. Ultimately, Kane is one of our best players, if not the best player in the club. So you ultimately want your best players playing. He's come back late. He doesn't appear to have done any training with the group as such. I've not seen anything to suggest that. He may have done something behind doors, but he's only been able to get in the last couple of days. So again, the whole preparation that we've gone through, playing this front three of Son, Lucas and Bergwijn, which has been consistent throughout pre-season, to rip that up now and just say, okay, one of you, forget you, we're putting Harry Kane in there. If he doesn't have the greatest of games and he kind of limps around and, doesn't get the goal that we expect him to get, doesn't perform against City, this is going to do two things. It's going to be, he should never have started anyway, or it's going to get people to say, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to be here anymore. So it's not going to be a win-win situation for him. That's why I say play the others. If they don't perform, then you can bring Kane on. Then you can say, right, Lucas, you're not doing that. Son, we'll move you to the left and we're going to put Harry Kane at the centre. Stevie, you come off now. Dele, but whoever that change will be, for that reason, it's got to send the right message to the players that are there, that we're relying on you, because we're not 100% sure if our golden boy is still going to be there come the end of August. And if he's not, all of this would have been a real, detriment to what we could actually see. See what Son, Lucas and Bergwijn can do against probably the best team in Europe. Probably the best team in Europe.
Yeah. Interesting. William McKenzie, he says 4-3-3 and sitting a diamond in defence with Son and Bergwijn to fly forward. Be interesting to see if that happens, William. And William, let me know when you're going to make your debut on the fan show, my man. You're always in the comments, so I want to see you. If he plays, he is staying by N17. I hope so.
I hope
Kane
so.
does not rise up for big games. Loads of volleys see these players in the street or at the world's best training facilities, and you're begging for the shirt. Not Winks, I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. If I see Winks, I just walk the other way. Honestly, I'll be honest. You know, why would I want his shirt? What does it give me? Nothing. I don't like him. Simple. Nuno drops Moura for Kane. Nah, I hope not. I hope not.
That can't happen again. That could never happen again.
DMT, I'll be Reg, says Sanchez. It'll be Reguilon, Sanchez, Dyer, and Tanganga. Interesting. Tottenham, till I die. Tom till I die says, not Tom or Tottenham till I die says, Nuno will only play those who want to play for the team. Chris says, yeah, the teabag video. Yeah, honestly, I'm getting off this guy. I don't want to talk about him anymore. And Musty 2.0, why don't we sell Kane to the NFL, not to a rival? Yeah, if he wants to be a kicker, so bad, let's see what the NFL offers. You're dead right, Musty. Dead right. But look, same question to you, Jack. You know, if Kane doesn't play tomorrow, is it because Kane has turned around and said, look, Nuno, you know, I'm not up for it, I'm not fit, or my head's not in the right place? Or is it Nuno basically does Nuno just make the call, or does he go to Kane and ask him, what do you think? And who's it on if he doesn't play?
You know, David, at the end of the day, it probably is going to be Nuno's decision, but I'm going to actually trust the decision that Nuno's going to make. I don't think that Nuno is going to play Harry simply because even if Harry thinks that he might be fit enough, he probably is plenty fit enough. But I do think that he probably does value maybe kind of a bit of inclusion into the team. He doesn't maybe let players just walk right into the starting lineup, no matter even if they're Harry Kane, especially considering the news that's going on. I do think that he will probably bring him off the bench. You know, considering that we might be going for gold, you know, to either win it, or it might be just trying, you know, bring him back on, you know, for the fans' sake, just to show, you know, a bit of a, you know, save a little bit of face, some might say. But I don't think he's going to be starting tomorrow, simply because I do think that Nuno is kind of a bit of a strong man when it comes to these things. I think he wants to be pushed around when it comes to this kind of fiasco. And as well, even though the way that he's been meeting a lot of the questions around Harry Kane, it doesn't seem like a guy that, you know, really budges too easy. So I will say, I do think for this game, he will be playing Sonny up top with Lucas and Bergwijn, like Shane was describing. And
you made a good point, Jack. You made a good point about showing the strength of character for a manager.
Right.
Because we all know if Harry Kane plays, I don't think that would be a Nuno decision. I think he maybe been told, and, you know, Harry Kane, because all the managers have done that. You know, for the cup finals that we've been in, the Champions League finals, same thing happened. Harry Kane, are you fit, Harry Kane? Yeah, I'm fit, boss. Okay, you play. Same thing for the final the other day against the Man City. You fit, Harry? Yeah, I can play, boss. No problem. Okay, there you go. So if Nuno does the same thing, given all what he's been talking about and saying, it would just look like somebody else has made this decision. And that's going to take away from the fact that although he's classed as the head coach, he's still in charge of the team. That's his job. Put the team out on the pitch, make sure they do the best to the best of their ability. It's the message for me more so than the player. It's the message it will send out if Harry Kane just comes in and starts.
Yeah, and even Shane, I think really well said there. And then maybe just to, you know, top that off there, I would say, like, you know, a manager has to deal, no matter how big the personalities, he still has to deal with 26 different personalities at least.
100%.
You know, and it's just that thing where he can't be, you know, catering to all of them. He can't concede to all of them. He, especially in the beginning of the season, he can't look like someone that would concede, you know, to everybody in the dressing room. So I do think he's going to play a bit of the hard kind of, you know, play a bit of a hard stance towards Kane. I do think he's probably, you know, maybe being very friendly to Harry. He's probably, you know, maybe working a bit of that magic, you know, in terms of, you know, the charisma that I know Nuno has. But I do think that he will probably, you know, bring him off the bench. That's what I'm going to be seeing happen. And that's going to be Nuno's decision, hopefully. Yeah.
And if they've had these discussions and talks like he says he's had with him, you would have hoped behind the closed doors, a man-to-man talk. You know, this is what I want for the team, Harry. This is what I've got to do. Put you in this position. This is why. And explain it. Because if someone explained it to me, if I was Harry Kane and someone explained, this is why you're not going to start. We know all the stuff that's going on. And I'm going to try and protect you in this sense. But we also... Then as a player, you're kind of like, yeah. If you did it the Jose way and just kind of don't talk to people and don't have that sort of communication, then of course people are going to throw their toys at the problem, which is what I think we've seen before, you know, with certain players just not performing to their ability. We have got players who are not quite up to the standard we want, but I think getting that team spirit is going to at least give us that 5%, 10% out of extra that maybe they can give.
Yeah, actually, really well said there, Shane. I think we absolutely tag team that perfectly there. But yeah, David, what are your thoughts maybe on it? Do you think it's going to be Nuno's question? We haven't really been able to ask David as much for this one. He's doing a great job hosting everybody. So everybody hit that like. If you're generous enough, please, please, please hit a super chat as well. We really do appreciate it. But David, I feel like we haven't gotten your thoughts on it. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be Nuno's decision? How do you think Nuno is going to play this whole Harry Kane situation tomorrow?
Look, for me, I've said it ages ago. I actually don't think he will start. I really don't. Look, I'm always of the opinion if your best player is available, start them. But for me, look, there is going to be an element. He's fit, obviously. He's not too long off the Euros, right? Is he up to match speed? No, and that's the difference. Look, for me, I definitely would put him on the bench. But you also have to take in consideration, will that humiliate Harry Kane? Will that piss him off even further? Look, there's a lot of things you can take from it. But for me, if I was Nuno, I'd just say, look, Harry, you're not starting. You're on the bench. And for me, I wouldn't even go to Harry Kane and say, how are you feeling? Do you want to play? Do you want to not? At the end of the day, he's a Tottenham player. He's a Tottenham player. So for me, you go to him and say, look, you're on the bench tomorrow. I will be calling on you. Be ready.
Exactly.
Half-time on, ready. And make sure you go out there and give it your all. I just think me personally, I think it's stupid to start him. Son, Lucas and Bergwijn, they've worked well pre-season. I'll give it to Son. He looks super sharp. Moura looks super sharp. Bergwijn looks sharpish. Looks like he's had a bit of a Burger King or something over the summer too. But look, for me, he's got his goal against Chelsea. He got an assist pre-season as well. Hopefully his end product is starting to get a bit better. And hopefully we can see more of him. But for me, I think the best way to get at this City team is actually using the pace of Son, Kane, and Bergwijn and get in behind them, exploit them. So I think it'd be me personally. Yeah, I would bench him. I would bench him and bring him on. That's what I would do. And exactly what Tom R says, guys. Here I checked. We're not even at 100 likes. Usually we're at about 150 right now. So look, I forgive you. I know it's the excitement coming into the season. It's the excitement coming into the new season. But guys, we need to get the likes up. It really does help push this channel out and push the videos out to people. So guys, please do you play your part and smash the like. And like Jack says, keep getting in your super chats, to get your questions in and that. And Dylan Harris, I want to know, you're my long lost brother, lad. Nice last name. As well, look, Shane, what do you think Harry Kane's mindset will be tomorrow?
Wow.
He has to move going on. If he is on the bench or if he does start, does he put his all in? Does he not put his all in? What do you think his mindset would be?
Okay, so that's a very good question because we haven't had too many. We haven't had too many direct quotes coming from a lot of the Harry Kane camp. We've had that official kind of Twitter which said basically there's been a misunderstanding. I've never wanted to not come training. This blah blah blah. But there's a significant reason. So he's dropping little hints that there's something in there, but not saying that he's defying people. He's not coming to training because I don't think he wants to disrupt that legacy that he's got here at Spurs. If he goes out now as a player that's going to be throwing his toys out the pram, not wanting to play to the best of his ability, feigning injury, might not, we're just going to tarnish him. We're going to say Harry Kane, and all that stuff that's gone before will kind of get forgotten, very similar to Sol Campbell. And we don't really want that for him. I don't want that for him. If he's this model professional like everybody keeps talking about, and Gary Neville made a good point, and Roy Keane as well in that program that they got. A model professional, what does that mean? They turn up for training. That's their job. So he's got to all he's got to do is his job. He's just got to do his job. If he turns up for training, that's doing his job. If he plays and performs on a weekend, that's his job. If he scores goals, that's his job. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're not going to give him praise for that. But his mindset, if he does want to move, is going to be very difficult to get him to. It's like with anybody. If you really don't want to be there, you can never really give 100% your all. I don't care who you are, but he can play very, very well. And his 90% is certainly going to give us a lot more than, 100% of a Harry Winks. So I would rather see him give 90%, score 15, 20 goals if it's this season, and then go next year because that's all been agreed. if he's forced to stay and his mindset is that I'm going to down tools, then we've got a problem on our hands. So again, I think tomorrow will show us a lot. Whether he starts or whether he doesn't start, a lot will be focused on him. The cameras will be all over Harry Kane. So if his body language is such, when we had that shot of Hugo, and I think it was either the Chelsea game where Grealish was in goal, and Hugo just looked like he just didn't want to be there. But then something's clicked. Someone's had a word with him. Someone's talked and assured him, because now he looks happier. I've seen the training footage. That's the same thing I want to see for Harry Kane. If he's looking like he's moping around, talk to him, explain to him. That's why I want Nuno and the board to have these conversations and maybe agree you can go next year, or if you're going to go this year, we need to get the money that we've talked about. That's it.
Yeah. 100%.
Another brilliant answer, Shane. I will say another brilliant answer there.
Brilliant. Brad Hotspur says, he's just new channel member. Big yourself up. And Dylan Harris, is this Trevor's son? Is this Trevor's son? Let me know, my man. I think it could be. I know he has a son called Dylan, so let me know. But Jack, same question to you. What do you think Harry Kane's state of mind will be? Is his mind going to be in it? Is it going to be elsewhere? Does he want to play?
David, to be honest, I think he probably really does want to play, and I'm also going to be really optimistic and say that I do think that Harry is, just looking forward to maybe just sign that new contract and maybe just actually have that gentleman's agreement that's been spoken about. I think he just wants it to be in writing. I think he wants it to be a fair price that somebody would be able to afford next season, and I do think he is considering giving, Spurs another chance. I really do hope that's what he's actually considering. And to be honest, he's probably be very gutted if he wasn't going to play tomorrow. But considering all the news, considering, the late arrival as well, I do think, he can't be starting tomorrow. We have to, be able to respect the other players that have put in the effort during the preseason. We have to respect the players that have played well during the preseason as well. And I do think that Harry Kane will just have to suck that up. But as well, I do think he'll probably be very gutted and might hopefully use that as motivation, to be able to bag maybe a brace in the second half for us. But yeah, David, I do think he hopefully will be very much up for it and maybe a bit, maybe a bit angry, maybe a bit motivated, by the anger from maybe not being included in the squad tomorrow.
Yeah, look, do you know what? To be honest with you, I want to know. I actually want to know from him where his headspace is at. I really do, because look, for me, it is very important going into tomorrow's game, because this guy's supposed to be a leader in the dressing room. And for me, look, he no doubt if he comes back into the dressing room, he's still going to be a leader. But for me, look, I just hope he's focused on the game. I hope, because the worst thing he can do is if he does play tomorrow is miss a big chance. Honestly, that's the worst thing he can do. He better be, if he wants to play, he better be firing and he better be ready, because he's going to be scrutinized tomorrow. The pressure is going to be on him. The spotlight's going to be on him. Even if he's sitting on the bench, cameras are going to constantly pander to him and check, see what his emotions are, see whether he's looking down. And they're going to be waiting for Pep Guardiola to speak to him. So, if he does come off the bench, it means Pep Guardiola will probably walk on the pitch, give a little word in his ear. That's going to absolutely fuck me off, to be honest with you. Honestly, that will really piss me off. I just hope Nuno can get in there and push him away from him. But look, at the end of the day, he is the ultimate professional. And at the end of the day, he does love Tottenham. I truly believe if he's called upon tomorrow, he will be ready. I think his mind will be in it. I think he'd be raring to go. I really do. And I can see him wanting another big campaign, because we have to be honest, guys. He's not going to want to waste any time. There's a World Cup right round the corner. He's going to want to lead England to a World Cup final. So he's going to want to have the best form of his life going into that. 100%. So for me, I agree with what Shane says. I agree with what Roy Keane says. And I've always said this as well. At the end of the day, I couldn't give a shit. I know he trains extra and I know he eats right off the pitch and he lives right and everything else, but that's what I expect from someone that's being paid $200 to do a job. I expect it. I expect it. If someone's being like Endom Burgers, if he's being paid $200,000 a week, I expect him to be fit. I expect him to be ready. I expect his mindset to be correct. I know they all have stuff and issues like every other human being, but they have money to be able to pay people to put all that in place so that it doesn't affect them. They even have someone in the club that pays their bills, so they don't even have to worry about that. They don't have to sit there and listen to stupid tones and songs, waiting to speak to somebody and everything else. So for me, I expect him to be ready. He's paid $200,000 a week. I couldn't give a shit whether he wants to move to City or not. I expect him to be ready, and that's it at the end of the day. He's paid enough, so I hope to see him. I really do, because even if the game is a tight affair and he comes on, You know, he can go and get us the 3 points. He can go and get us the 3 points. And what better way to clear his name by doing that? Honestly, no better way for him to do that.
These top professionals you mentioned, David, they are so catered for. They don't have to do literally anything. Once they get to that training ground, they don't have to do anything. Everything's prepared. The food, the kits, everything's prepared. They just got to go out and perform. When they go home, they're given programs. Everything is like set out. It's so regimented. This is what ex-professionals talk about. When they get out of playing football, it's hard because that regimentation is so difficult to kind of leave, that they need something to fill that. So you can imagine you're getting paid 200 grand a week, and all you've got to do pretty much is train 4, 5, 6 times a week. So if they train and play, if you're selected for 90 minutes, you don't have to think about, what am I going to do for dinner tonight? You got a chef. Oh, what am I going to... Don't even have to worry about what you're going to wear. They probably got stylists and stuff. They've got someone doing their Twitter. They've got someone doing everything. All they have to do is focus on playing football. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be playing football. You shouldn't.
Yeah. That's
fully
what they
agree.
should be prepared for. You're totally right, Shane.
And it's Tony Hawes says, I'm sorry, David, but Harry Kane, in my opinion, has disrespected the badge. And I can't forgive that. I'm here to support Tottenham Hotspur, not Harry Kane. Yeah, we all support Tottenham Hotspur, but at the end of the day, Harry Kane's still a Tottenham Hotspur player. So I'll be honest with you, that statement doesn't really apply, lad, because if you're supporting Tottenham Hotspur, you're supporting Harry Kane. He's a Tottenham player. I get some people that argue he's disrespected the badge. I still maintain, until I hear from Tottenham Hotspur and I hear otherwise, I'm not believing what fraud sports Romero. Of course, they're going to be sitting there waiting at the training ground, waiting for anything they can do to make a big headline for a couple of weeks, to be able to get people to tune into Sky Sports, get people to bet on Sky Bet, get people to tune into all their stuff to get their hits and everything else. Let's be honest. Well, they all do it. So, look, all we know is what happened between them and the club. Paul Miller, an ex-professional, has come out and said, Tottenham knew he was actually in Joe Lewis's resort in the Bahamas, and that Tottenham knew exactly where he was, and that they knew exactly what day he'd be back on. So, look, it's all still up in the air, but I get it, Tony. I get what you're saying. But if you're supporting Tottenham, you're supporting Harry Kane because he's still a Tottenham player, my man, and that's 100%. where I sit on that. Next question, lads. And this is a good one. This is the one that I was telling everybody that no one else has been speaking about, and I just think it's a little insight, something we can look out for. And we'll start with Jack this time.
Yes, good on it. Go on, Jack.
If Harry Kane scores, I think it would be very interesting to see how he celebrates. I actually personally think it will tell us whether he's staying or not. I think you'll be able to tell by the celebration whether it's kind of like not an animated celebration. You think, he's off to City. But if it's passionate, you think, this guy's staying. What do you think? Do you think it'll tell us a lot? Or am I reading too much into this?
No, David, I think you do, especially since it's the first game of the season. You absolutely have to read into the, the celebrations at least a little bit, considering that, there's a lot of anxiety. I would think, when it comes into the first game of the season, especially being a striker, you would think, David, you do want to hit, set off the mark. You do want to get good off the mark. And, Harry Kane is just one of those guys, considering all the rumors about him, he'd probably be absolutely elated if he were to be able to shut us up with maybe a goal or two. If he were to be able to, maybe I would say, put the head down with the fists, down before he reaches the corner flag, and then gives his usual kind of celebration like that with the, the two hands. I'm thinking if he lets out a big scream, David, from there, one that seems to be a bit animated, I do think we actually might be seeing, a man that still wants to play for this club, a man that's still waiting, to give us a second chance, like I said before. David, I think you do have to read into the celebrations. Maybe also, especially if he gives a little bit of the Luis Suarez kiss of the ring, for the misses as well. I'm thinking, David, that's all the signs that he might be staying at the club. If he's thinking of the children and the misses when, scoring the goals, it means he has his heart at Tottenham, David. So that's all I'm going to say. But you absolutely have to read into the celebration. If the scream isn't too loud, if he's not, kind of giving the pumps as well, David, it might be a bit concerning.
I'd love to see him break out the Robbie Keane celebration. I really would. The cartwheel and the goals. I'd absolutely love it. I would love it. But look, Shane, same question to you for my man. First of all, do you think it's a good question?
Oh, I think it's a really good question. Jack's answered it really well. I think there's a couple of things in there for me. I think it does depend on when the goal's scored. Imagine he scores the first goal. He might have a bit of a muted celebration. The days of Harry Kane doing that celebration, when he had the glasses on and he threw the glasses off and scored that winner against Arsenal, and he ran across the whole pitch, and then he literally I don't think we'll see that sort of celebration again.
No.
Yeah.
But if he knocks in, if it's a close game and he knocks in the winner, I can see that emotion coming out of him in general anyway, the whole emotional side of things. Whether or not that will tell us whether he wants to stay or go, I'm not quite sure. But what I will say is, though, if he does score, it's what his teammates around him do. That's what I'm more going to see. If they all surround him and they're all hugging Harry Kane, it's all like, yeah, he's part of the family, and everybody does that. Either they're doing it as a show or they genuinely mean it. So it's the other players around him I'm going to be more, because I've seen players when they're leaving the club and they've scored, not a lot of players go around him. It's like one or two maybe, and then they're back to the centre circle. Usually Harry Kane, everybody's around, they're all doing the hugging, he's there and he's putting his hand up. That's more what I'm going to see tomorrow. If you don't kiss the ring, you don't kiss the badge, I'm not bothered. It's what his mates do and when he scores. If he scores the winner and he was like, oh, so what? Then it's like, hold on a minute, there's no passion here. If he scores the winner and he's like racing, sliding on his knees, Harry Kane maybe he's staying. Possibly.
Love that. That was well. I like that image. You know, a bit of a knee slide. David could actually definitely prove it, because the knee slide, you know, knee slides, especially with how many goals he's probably scored in his career, you know, the knee slides start to hurt David. You know, they kind of, you know, they're not as, you know, you start to feel them a bit more because you get so used to scoring, you know. So if he puts in a knee slide, I think that would be also a good example of maybe someone who's willing to stay. I think that's a good example as well, Shane.
The knee slide. I like that one.
Oh, I'd love it. The knee slide and then just pointing at the badge. Imagine it, just knee sliding going like this. Oh, I'd absolutely love it. I'd love it. Oh, I'd love it. Honestly, I can see it. And I'll get pictures and put it on the wall behind me. I really would. But look, guys, let's move on now. That's enough of the Harry Kane debacle. And just, guys, I'm not getting into the debate whether we're selling him or whether he's staying. That's for another day. This is a Man City preview. This is Tottenham v Man City preview. We're going to move on to Romero. And again, quotes from Nuno on Romero. Christian's injury was in the Copa America. He had his holiday totally recovered and has been able to train. He is doing well, but as I said, the players who haven't had many sessions with us, we have to balance that situation. So, Jack, I'll go to you again, my man. Look, does that quote give us an indication that we probably won't see Romero tomorrow?
I think it does, David. I think it was a very diplomatic answer from Nuno in terms of, you know, him just kind of hinting that he probably won't be picked. And it simply just has to do with balance of even, some of the experience, you know, for is also, like we said before, you know, we would like to be able to pick the best players for this type of game. But you do think about it, it is the first game of the season. You know, there are plenty of jitters when it comes to that, you know, and then as well, there's a lot of nerves when it comes to Man City, David. Plenty of nerves when it comes to playing Man City. So, and when you consider all these things, the jitters, the nerves, and then combined with maybe some of these players like Romero, who are, you know, going to be fresh to the Premier League, you know, it does seem like, you know, it might not be the best time for him to come in, as well as obviously him recovering from that injury in the Copa America, where it seemed like he was practically battling a broken leg, you know, the way he was playing out there. So I think it's plenty all right that he doesn't play. I think it was just a very diplomatic, smart answer from Nuno in terms of him just saying, listen, you know, players like Romero, players like Hill will not be able to play tomorrow simply because they haven't been around the squad and the system long enough.
Good.
Yeah, another good answer there. Look, Shane, what's your thoughts on it as well, my man? I'm just going to go Jack's lad. I'll be back in 1 second, Jack. You're right there to monitor everything.
Yeah. What do you think, Shane?
So, yeah, I agree. Romero to just come in is right. Okay, I'll put it another way.
He put it as balance, right? Like Nuno said, like, you know, something about him not, you know, it would affect the balance of the squad. Do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think he means by that?
I think because of that fact that when you play, it's a specialist position. Although I think defensive coaching is the easier thing to coach than attacking coaching. It's still a specialist position. You need to have your distances. You need to know what your teammates are doing from a positional point of view, particularly your fullbacks and your other centre backs. So you do need to know how they're playing. So if you haven't had that many sessions and you don't speak English well, the communication side of things is going to be difficult. Yeah. As well as that, we're not gonna, even whatever the result against City is not going to determine where we finish at the end of the season. It might have an indication of how we're going to play, and it might be a little bit of a boost, but it's not going to determine where we finish. However, if you throw a player in and let's say they have a right mare, that's going to take a longer time to recover, potentially, if their mentality is not quite right, than it would be just to lose one game. So why put him into that position where the result would be great to get, but it's not going to define our season? We want to see the best of Christian Romero, so we want to make sure the the situation, the circumstances is the best that he can come into without putting them under unnecessary pressure. He's going to be under pressure anyway, but unnecessary pressure would be, well, he's not trained with Sanchez before. He's never played with Dyer in a two. Why just do that? Let him develop that in training, get that right, and then we can see against the likes of Watford or Wolves or somebody else when a little bit less pressure maybe.
And Shane, I think even as well, you might have said it in the backstage, you might have said it in the beginning, didn't you even say something about like Christian Romero? It's also even good as a player to be able to kind of see, just be able to be on the bench, be in the atmosphere, the fans, kind of just be able to take it all in and not kind of be thrown all at you at once. Maybe
of course.
Touch on that.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because that again, it would be if he just gets thrown in, he's been here, a couple of weeks, he'd have had a few sessions. And then all of a sudden, he's now playing against, as I said, arguably one of the best teams in Europe and a home game, not had fans in the stadium. Everything is going to be as bright. It's going to be wow. Even for a player that's played in Copa Americas and finals, it's still going to be a bit of nerves. And why put somebody under pressure when they haven't fully prepared? I don't think that's right. We're not desperate. Put it that way. We have got Sanchez and we have got Dyer, although they're not the best. We still got them. We still got Rodon. We still got Tanganga who can play centre back. Even if we was to push someone like Ben Davies, he could play centre back for us. So there's options. So for me, let Romero see how this is. Let him soak up that atmosphere. Let him see, right, this is the expectations. I now see what I can do to really make a difference to that team, and then let him go and maybe a game or two down the road.
Yeah, absolutely, Shane. Absolutely. And as well, everybody take that in. I do think that is something that we do have to realize what Shane was just saying with Romero. He has to take a lot of this in. He does have to maybe just get used to everything around the team. Even like he was saying with the language as well, he still probably hasn't been able to maybe understand yet all the instructions so easily in terms of his role in the team. He just needs to be eased into it. And, there's no better way to, ease a player into the team than a 3-0 smashing against City tomorrow at home.
No, look, for me with Romero, look, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to risk him. I don't want to potentially throw him in too early and risk a longer term injury. For me, I would rather make sure he's 100% right, save him, hold him back for next week for me, and introduce him next week. Because I'll be honest with you, Sanchez and Dyer actually had decent games against Arsenal. Let's be honest.
They did.
And for me, I was actually very surprised with Sanchez's passing range, to be honest with you. And if he can take over from Lord of the Pings, aka Toby, and start pinging them balls like he did with, like I was saying earlier on, where I wouldn't start Harry Kane, I'd be using Son, Bergwijn, Lucas. Sanchez can play them balls over the top, them long balls. We have the pace to get onto the end of them. So for me, look, I'd be happy to see if Romero starts tomorrow. I really would be happy if he starts, because honestly, he's going to absolutely eat Gabriel Jesus or Jack Grealish. He'd be pulling Jack Grealish by the hair and swinging him around. Honestly, he will be. He's an animal. This guy's an animal. Premier League, the players are going to hate to come up against this guy. But for me, personally, I would actually hold him back. I would hold him back to next week, especially if he's not ready. He hasn't had too many training sessions. He probably hasn't had enough time to build up a rapport with a Dyer or a Sanchez. So for me, I think in terms of the game, it's probably a bit suicidal to throw him in tomorrow. I think next week he'll be more ready. That's just my opinion on the situation.
And listen, just one more thing to add on that. Mm-hmm. I think from last season, our defense was under more pressure than it should have been. The way we played, the way Jose set up after certain, going up 1-0 or whatever, we were playing defensive football. We were very much sitting back. So the defense was soaking up a lot more pressure. If they employ the tactics, which I'm seeing at the moment, where we're pressing from the front, we've got a better base from the two midfielders in Højbjerg and Skip than we had last season. So that alone in itself should mean that the defense is getting protected a little bit more. And that's probably what we've seen with the Sanchez and Dyer thing. They haven't been as exposed as much. But what they've also done is they've made less mistakes. If they can cut them mistakes out, even if they're under pressure, they might still do okay. And then somebody else who's better can come in and take that mantle. That was the biggest problem for Dyer and Sanchez. The mistakes that they made cost us goals.
Yeah,
I didn't see that in the last couple of games, particularly against Arsenal, where, as you said, they were very, very good. They cut the mistakes down and they did their job.
Yeah, 100%. And look, hopefully they can gain confidence off that and continue that into tomorrow's game, to be honest with you. Because, look, I just think if they already have built up a bit of a partnership, just go with it tomorrow. Look, tomorrow, as much as I don't like to say this, it's in a way it's kind of like a free hit.
It is.
No one's expecting us to beat City. So for me, there's no need to kind of risk players if they haven't had a proper season with us, a proper preseason, or they're not up to scratch, or there is some niggling injuries. There's no need to risk players. So for me, look, I would hold back like some of the guys that maybe Nuno was talking about with his quotes. I would hold them back, and because like I said, I do, as much as it kills me to say it, I do think it's a free hit. We're playing the champions of England, so look, it'd be an interesting one. But guys, just on the off chance he does play, Jack, who would you play beside Romero?
Another really good question there. He's got some good questions today. Jeez.
I'm telling you, I'm on the good shit today, lad. Had my wheat fix this morning.
You know, David, this one is going to be especially hard for me. With Romero, he's supposed to be kind of just the all-in-one defender. He's also has plenty of pace, David. I would prefer to have Sanchez next to him. If Sanchez is going to maybe tune in to those Ajax days and maybe take the Lord of the Pings, kind of a training that he once probably had, like Toby did, maybe he can maybe be that center back next to Romero. But, we haven't maybe seen enough of him with that, on the ball ability. So I would probably like to put someone like maybe Rodon next to him. I really, especially against City, David, as good as maybe Moon Boots has maybe looked to some fans, I can't say it. It can't come out of my mouth, David. I just can't say it. So I'm going to have to say Sanchez or Rodon next to him. I really do love Tanganga, though, so he has to be on the pitch for me regardless. If Doherty is playing, then I would say maybe Tanganga next to Romero. I know that's a bunch of different answers there, but basically what it comes down to is no Moon Boots.
Do you know what? For me, I think long term, I would probably put Rodon in beside Romero. I actually don't think Rodon put too much wrong last season. But if Romero starts tomorrow, the person I would play beside him is Sanchez, just purely for the pace. And look, if he can bring the passing that he brought against Arsenal, that's a bonus. But that's who I play beside him. But look, no one wants to hear my opinion. Shane, what's your opinion?
Yeah, so again, good stuff from Jack and agree with it. But the only thing I'd ask is, from what I've seen, what seems to be Romero's strongest side of a back two? So I know he's playing the back three, but is he more left-sided or more right-sided? If he's more, let's say, left-sided from our perspective, and he's a left-sided centre-back, then I think Sanchez is going to be, because Sanchez doesn't play well on the left. He's a right-sided centre-back for me. And the pace-wise, I think that would probably be a really good thing. If he was a right-sided centre-back, again, I don't want to see Dyer there. I'd probably go for someone like Rodon because he can play the left side of a centre-back. So I think that would work. It all depends on that. It's about them partnerships. Really, the centre-back partnership, if you're playing a two, has got to be such that both know what they're doing, both know what their roles are, and they're almost like a yin and yang sort of thing. One's going to be a dominant centre-back, one's going to have that, mopping up ability. Romero looks like he's going to be the one that's the aggressor. He's going to be the one that's winning the headers. He's the one putting the tackles in. So Sanchez might be the one that's kind of like, making them little pings, covering up, just covering around him. If he goes in, makes a tackle, he's the one covering around. He's the one that's having to do the recovery runs. I think, judging by those aspects of both their games, that's what I would probably see. If Romero is a left-sided centre-back, it will be Romero and then Sanchez. If he's a right side, I'm with you. I don't want to see Dyer there. I'd rather see Rodon on that side. That's
really good point there, Shane. Everybody, I think, has to tune into that. It is kind of something with Romero. He's only played in the back three, and we don't necessarily know yet whether in a back four, which one he's more comfortable with, being the left-sided center back or the right-sided center back. Actually, that's a really good point there, and I do think that needs to be stressed.
And it's the reason why, another thing, you don't just want to throw him in and, we're guessing that he's a right-sided player. We're not seeing enough of him in training to know that, and we're going to partner him with Dyer. That might be a complete car crash. But then Sanchez, we were all thinking, is he the player that we expect to see not do them pirouettes and hit his head on the ground, slamming like what Bernardo Silva made him do? I don't want to see that either. But he might not have to be in that position because Romero will be the one making them tackles. Romero will be the ones, getting the aggression in to make sure we stop. And then Sanchez just had to do the mopping up. And he may look a much, much better player because of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Look, and you know what? I agree with that because if you look at the effect that Virgil van Dijk had when he went into Liverpool alongside, I think it was Joe Gomez, he made Joe Gomez look 10 times better as a player.
100.
And it definitely 100% could be the case with Romero coming in alongside either Dyer or Sanchez, because look, as much as moon boots fucks me off, I'll be honest with you, like, you know, like anyone that plays football knows, if you have a good player beside you, it makes you 10 times better. Someone that you can vibe off, someone that you can, you know, it can make you a 10 times better player. So there is that argument with it. And look, I definitely think Romero is that answer for us. I really do. But guys, look, we're going to move on to Japhet Tanganga. Before we do, guys, you know, the chat is still hopping. Make sure there's 289 people watching right now. Make sure you have smashed a like. Subscribe on the channel if you're new, guys. We've already got 10 off the stream. Let's see if we can get another 10. Like I said, keep getting over. Check out Paxton Road. The link for the Paxton Road TV is in the description below. So get over there and smash or subscribe on them as well. Shane, a brilliant guest as always.
Check out the description, you know, people.
Playing his part today. Probably playing the captain's role, I'd say. He's coming in. Guys, make sure you check him out. Check him out. And guys, the chat is flying. Like I said, I always keep to my deal. I will always try and get everyone's comments up on screen where I can. You know, but look, guys, you know, why not get your questions in, your thoughts in with us, you know, in a super chat, questions for the panel. Because it like I keep explaining, it isn't possible to get to everybody's comment and discuss it and that. So, guys, what it does is it just skips you ahead of the queue. So, look, that's all on you, guys. That's all on you. But it is also a great way to help support the likes of myself and Jack. You know, honestly, we have a bit of a preview coming, a bit of an exclusive coming for you shortly. You know, and look, honestly, the support is really, really needed, guys. The amount of, I know a lot of people don't see this and stuff like that, but the amount of time we put in off camera, the amount of stuff we invest in to be able to bring you guys the very, very best content, which I can only promise you, it's only ramping up from here on out. Like, this is just the start for us. So, guys, it really, really does help support us, guys. But look, moving on to Japhet Tanganga, I'm going to bring up more Nuno comments here on Japhet. Japhet had a small issue during the game versus Arsenal, and he's much better and has joined training. The final decision will be made tomorrow. Now, he said this Friday, so he was talking about today. So he would have already made his decision by now. Me personally, guys, I think Japhet will, if he's fit, I'd play him right back, just as that defensive option. I believe he can tuck in beside the two centre-backs, let Reguilon bomb forward like he does all the time, getting in on the box and the end of things and stuff like that. And it gives us a good way of keeping three kind of back at all times without having to sacrifice a midfielder holding back, which means then if Japhet does that and we do lose the ball, it means we can press higher up the pitch because we can put everybody into the press. So for me, I would actually start him right back because I don't want to see two attacking fullbacks play tomorrow. I don't want to see Doherty. I definitely don't want to see Bobo the Clown Warrior. So for me, if Japhet's fit, I would play him right back. But we'll go. Jack, would you start Japhet tomorrow right back if he was fit, or would you give it to a Doherty?
No, David, you have to start him. I think Tanganga's looked unbelievable this preseason, especially the way he just absolutely tore apart the Moura, the Arsenal defender the other day. Just absolutely showed him the weight room, just absolutely showed him what he'd been doing during the offseason and what the Arsenal scum at the back wasn't doing during the offseason.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. As well, David, you know, with Tanganga, it's been one of those kind of luxury problems, you might say, where he's kind of always shown the defensive solidity. He's always shown that he's always very defensively ahead of his game, very defensively intelligent as well. It's just maybe a bit of going forward that's always been kind of lacked a bit. That's something that he can actually probably improve on and actually work on. Being defensively solid is something that does take, you know, a lot more skill, you might say, a lot more intelligence, and he already has that in the bag. He already has that at his disposal. I am absolutely in love with Japhet. I would love to see him start tomorrow. I think Nuno even said, you know, it is a bit of a precautionary, the way that they were just taking him off the pitch, just had to do with, you know, not risking him, you know, because I do think they do want to start him. So I do think that was the only reason they did take him off the pitch. He is a bit injury prone from what it looks like sometimes. So I do hope that he is able to play tomorrow. And like I said, David, I do think that Japhet will absolutely destroy anybody on the pitch with the weight, you know, ability that he has, with some of the strength that he's been able to show, especially against some of the, you know, the lightweighted kind of Man City players. I really am looking forward to it. Yeah, I would love to see Japhet start tomorrow, especially with what I can do with him against you, David, in the FIFA. I would love to see him start tomorrow.
Speaking of that, actually, lad, you're not going to bed tonight without playing me, lad. You've been away for a week. It's pissed me off, I'll be honest. So you're not going to bed. You're not going to bed tonight without playing me. I hate losing the FIFA. So we're having a rematch tonight, 100%. But look, same reason. As soon as I seen the Lautaro Martinez links, I knew Jack was having sleepless nightmares because I rip him up with him on FIFA too. So I knew Jack wanted to avoid that speculation. That's why Jack went on holiday. He's seen the Lautaro Martinez links come out, and he's like, "No, I have to go away to escape this guy." That's why he done it. But Jordan Cohen, he says, "Agree with Tanganga starting." And my man, it's good to see you in the chat. I hope things are well with you, Jordan. We have a super chat here from Mary McGee. Look, Mary, if you did forget to put your comment in, put it in the comment section. No need to put in another super chat. We will bring it up and discuss it. If it's just a donation, thank you very much, and I really, really, really do appreciate it. But like I said, if you've got to put your comment in, just put it in the chat, and we will get to it. But I appreciate everyone else, guys. Follow suit, guys. Follow Mary's lead and get the super chats in, get them in. But Shane, look to you. Tanganga right back, or would you go with a Doherty?
Nah, Doherty, whatever you want to call him, he ain't done enough for me to warrant any starting position. He hasn't done enough defensively. He hasn't done enough going forward. The only reason you would maybe have put Aurier ahead of Tanganga possibly before the Arsenal game for me is because he might be better in attack. Certainly from a defensive position, he's not better than Tanganga. But what Tanganga did show is that even from an attacking perspective now, he's got more ability to go forward than what Aurier has shown so far. So, yeah, given his defensive qualities and given what you were saying also about him tucking in and to make another centre back, that's ideal. If you're under pressure, you can then put Reguilon forward and have him competently being able to defend because he can defend as a centre back. Aurier, Doherty, we both know they're not great defenders. They're both better going forward. And Doherty hasn't even showed he's better at doing that much this season. So for me, play Tanganga. Had a great game. Loves the club. Wants to play. Was possibly didn't get enough credit last season, but then had a few injuries. But if the guy has got the attitude that he wants to, and he's shown the desire that he wants to play, even though he's been linked with a move away, he's showing, right, I'm not going to down tools here. I'm going to show you this is why I want to stay at this club. You've got to play him tomorrow, surely. Yeah.
No, look, do you know, that's a great point again, Shane, honestly. You're mind-blowing me today. Because, look, with Tanganga, look, the loan option's there. He can go if he wants. He can go to Turkey, and look, we all know in Turkey it's going to make him any. You either sink or swim. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
But for me, I love the way, like you said, Shane, that he's not down in tools. And like as soon as I seen the loan was accepted, I was sitting there and I was weighing it up, and I was thinking, like, yeah, look, we could let the guy go out on loan for a year and give him that year's experience, that year of playing regular football, we hope, and stuff like that. But at the same time, if I was Japhet Tanganga, I'd be backing myself. I'd be sitting there saying, hang on, we've brought Roden in, but who's going to play beside him? That spot's up for grabs. 100%. Who's going to play right back? I can fit in there. That spot's up for grabs. And if I get my chance, I'm going to take it. And he did against Arsenal. Honestly, I thought it was Royal Rumble I was watching. He abused the fullback to take the ball off him. And then Xhaka tried to take him down. He just threw him over the top ropes and won Royal Rumble. With the assist, Sonny, in.
The other thing I'll say about him, he seems to be a big game player. And the reason I say that, he made his debut against Liverpool and was probably the man of the match in that game. That was his first game against Liverpool, who were the champions at the time. So again, City, home match, fans there, wanting to perform, wants to show that he belongs to Tottenham. I think he's going to have a super game. Yeah. I hope I don't, put the jinx on him. But from what I've seen, if he can do what he was doing going forward against Arsenal, but still have that defensive capability, we might have a player here that we just kind of didn't realise that he had that ability, because he can still play centre-back. And he says centre-back's his better position. So if you're playing really well and you're taking the position of the right-backs that we've currently got, he must be a decent player. Come on, he's got to start.
100%. And look, guys, if he does screw up tomorrow, Shane's put the Paxton Road curse on him, so you can get over to Paxton Road tomorrow as soon as they go live after the game with some of the guys that are going to the game, and just cuss them out. Just say, look, Shane, why did you have to do it? Why did you do it? So make sure you know exactly who to blame if Tanganga plays poor tomorrow.
Come on, Japhet. Come on, Japhet. Do it for me. Just do it for
William
me.
McKenzie says, record the FIFA game, lads, and show highlights. Yeah, look, that is something we're looking into, I'll be honest with you. It's great crack. If Jack's losing to me, he gets riled up. If I'm losing to him, I get riled up. We talk smack to each other as well. Best believe it. Friends has gone out the window when we're playing each other. So, no, we're definitely, it's funny. It's a good laugh. So 100%, we'll definitely, we're looking to do it. If we can have the equipment to do it, we'll definitely get it done for you guys and put it out there. One thing I will say is Jack likes to play on his settings, which are a bit hampered. And he also knows every little skill. Me, I'm just, I just play the basic way. Jack knows all these little skills and everything else. So, I win over Jack. It's no mean feat. It's no mean feat. So big up. And Jordan Cohen says, good to see you guys. Going to eat 2-1 Spurs tomorrow. Big up, Jordan. Same score prediction as me, my man. Same score prediction as me. Imagine David and Jack on pro clubs. I don't go near it, lad. I'll be honest with you. I probably should, start annoying some people online that way.
David Harris, David. Make a David Harris.
Yeah, look, we can all. Actually, guys, any of the followers, if you do want to play FIFA against me, let me know.
Wow,
let me know. Email me your username. Email me your username. I'll sit there. I'll happily beat you all night. No problem. Username. I'll send it out.
Smack talk.
Send it out in the mornings.
Oh,
so guys,
that's
your usernames and let's play.
Yeah.
Link is in the description. Email at theirishyid, please. It's in the description below. If you do want the sauce from David, it's down below.
Me.
Shamu knows. You probably gave Shamu a whooping too, did you?
No, not yet, David. I just showed him, a couple of those, videos of some of the skills I scored against you with Tangi. Honestly, I don't think those are fit for public consumption. David,
they're the ones when I was in the middle of eating my Kit Kat.
That's
right.
Yeah,
I had to control it down.
That's
Jack
right.
knows about this, guys. I was in the middle of eating. Doing what it says, taking a break. You know what I mean? Look, moving on, guys. How big, Jack? How big is De Bruyne and Foden for City tomorrow? How big is it that they're missing?
David, you're probably talking about two of their best creative sources from last season in the likes of Foden and De Bruyne. De Bruyne, obviously, as everyone probably is probably known by now, maybe the best number 10 in the world. One of the best number 10s we've probably seen, in the last 10 years. Maybe when you would probably say as well, probably the best passer in the world from that number 10 position. And then with Miley Cyrus, David, very, very talented young player coming in, with the left foot, with the silky skills as well, But I will say, with Miley Cyrus and De Bruyne being gone, you might think that this is their two best creative sources being gone. Of course, it's Man City. Of course, it's Oil Money FC. There are plenty of other creative, players, at their disposal. There are practically no players on that team that are, below any sort of, star level status. They're all stars from previous teams, and they all can definitely do a job for them. But with their two best creative sources, I would say from last season, maybe apart from Gundogan as well, you're thinking that definitely is a huge blow to them. And I really do hope that it will be a bit frustrating for them.
No, 100%. Catman Jess, send it on. Me and Jack are going to whoop you, boy. You and Brad Hofspur better be ready. Shamu says David versus Goldbridge in FIFA. Let's get it done. Look, guys, I can't do this on my own. I'll be honest. If I email Mark Goldbridge, you're going to say, who the fuck are you? So, guys, the only way to get these guys' attention, and it is really, every time you stream, just go in there and annoy them. Hashtag Harris Army, Goldbridge versus Harris on FIFA. Go. Just absolutely spam it. Hashtag Harris Army, Goldbridge versus Harris versus the Irish Hotspur on FIFA. Anytime the guy streams, just absolutely spam it so that he has to take notice until he hits me up, and then I can absolutely whoop him.
I might do that myself.
Spread the Harris Army.
I might do that myself.
Even on your receipts, hashtag
do you have
Harris
FIFA,
Army.
Shane? Do you have FIFA, Shane?
No, I'm not going to go into the chat and tell him, just put a hashtag. I'm not playing you lot at FIFA. Oh, no. I don't play FIFA for a while. I'm not embarrassing myself like that. No chance. Nope. Not happening.
He's being too humble. David. He's probably got a good weapon against us.
Darius probably getting him off.
Darius is talking.
Yeah,
he'll play you.
I bet you taught Darius a thing or two.
So, I've been slowly trying to draw Darius out. I keep putting in the group chat. Anyone want to trying to draw him out. He hasn't been yet. I might have to talk a bit of smack on Paxton Road to draw him out. Who knows? But guys, there you have it. You want to see me play Mark Goldbridge? Spam his chat. Like I said, hashtag Harris Army, Goldbridge versus the Irish Hotspur in FIFA, and let's make these guys take notice because we're on the one way, and that's up, guys. That is up. And same to you, Shane. You know, no De Bruyne, no Foden. And by the way, when Jack says Miley Cyrus, he's on about Foden with his new haircut. So look, how big is a miss is that for City tomorrow?
Oh yeah, they are gonna be misses. Do we know about Sterling? Do we know whether or not he's going to be involved?
Sterling is also a bit of a doubt as well. He could be, you know, I think he definitely could start, but, you know, considering he was a bit of, you know, a later arrival to everything, they might not play him, but they definitely could. They easily could.
So that midfield could potentially have Bernardo or Gundogan in it if they're both fit as well. They're not struggling for players, obviously. I'm not sure. Is Jesus injured as well? Is he available?
Yeah, Jesus is also a bit of a doubt. I've heard, you know, as well. You know, he could potentially feature, but he is a bit of a doubt.
Okay, so there's a few players out that means their actual personnel. Obviously, they've got Jack Grealish. I would imagine Jack Grealish is going to start because of the number of players that are out. Whether Sterling starts on that right hand side or if it's Murray's, I'm not quite sure. It's who's going to play down the middle. If it's not Jesus, is it going to be potentially Gundogan, who's done that role before, Bernardo Silva, who's done that role before? So if one of them two plays up top and Jesus isn't playing, then they might have a little bit more of a gap in midfield. Because if Fernandinho does play, or is it going to be Diaz who might play there? You know, it's not going to be as fluid as it would be if Kevin De Bruyne is in there, because he's obviously a master. So there's an opportunity within that midfield to do something. Yes, I just want to see that lineup. For me, once I see that midfield lineup, and particularly Fernandinho's in there, I think we can take advantage of that situation personally. So yeah, 100%. the starting lineup's going to be important to see.
Definitely. 100%. And also, like, they all are different types of players, you know, when it comes to even a team like City, they are a bunch of personalities, you know, they are a bunch of, you know, former stars from, you know, a bit smaller teams, but they used to be the star men of their big teams. You know, maybe potentially they might not be, you know, so easy just to, you know, play, maybe do a job or, you know, maybe just do a normal role. They kind of all have to demand, you know, a bit of personality on the pitch, and maybe that might be their detriment. Who knows?
And I think we're going to probably see them play a very similar false nine that they have played for a number of games. And that's going to be, again, where we're going to have to be careful, because with the movement that they have in those areas of the pitch, you do need organisation from a defensive, particularly if you're in midfielders. So it's Højbjerg and Skip are going to have a tough task tomorrow. Let's not get that twisted. And Dele Alli is going to have a big part if he plays in that 10 as well, depending on where he plays.
100%. 100%. What's the story says? Tell the truth, David. Winks is your FIFA team. No, Harry Winks, I said straight away. Every time since, like, you know, 6 years ago on FIFA and Harry Winks being in the team, every time I said him straight away. Look, it's the first thing I do. I even get agitated just doing that. You know, just think straight away. The first thing I have to do is offload this guy. You know, but don't get me started again. Don't get me started. I've had a happy hour without having to talk about this guy.
Oh, that's so funny.
Big up that, and I hope you're looking forward to the match tomorrow, my man. Look, tell Matt to get the roast dinner on, get the cans in the fridge. You know, I'll get you prepped for the game tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope we have a win, and I'll be ringing you after and ringing you anyway. But look, where are we now? Yeah, Jack Grealish is playing tomorrow. You know, can this guy pick up the creativity? Can he get City balling? Look, no De Bruyne and no Foden. Hopefully Jesus is out. I personally don't think one man can do it all. But what's your opinions?
Yeah, David, to be honest, I don't think he can do it all, especially for maybe like City. I do even think, you know, especially he hasn't even started, I believe, for City. He's been coming off the bench. It's possible he could start tomorrow. But with Grealish, he definitely is, you know, that creative genius and a bit of that creative threat that maybe we forgot to think about earlier with De Bruyne and Miley Cyrus being off. So, David, with Grealish being, you know, a potential inclusion, he is an absolutely creative genius coming in. But I will say, David, you know, it is possible that he might not be starting, considering that Guardiola just might not want to embed him into the team so quickly. So that might actually hurt them when you do think about it that way. But with Grealish, yeah, he could absolutely be a huge threat. He also is a huge substitution threat. Anytime you put him on in the 60th minute, you know, nice and early into the second half, he always comes into the game and causes something to happen. It's almost guaranteed, it seems like. So I will say, David, it's going to be very, very dangerous with Grealish. But, you know, I do really think that, the Spurs will be able to handle him. I do hope that, if Grealish is coming down the left-hand side or his left-hand side, that Japhet will be meeting him on our right-hand side, being able to, lock him up, being able to shove him over, maybe pull on the hair a little bit as well, maybe mess up the new haircut. And also as well, David, the last thing with Grealish, as much as I love his ability, as much as a beautiful player he is to watch, the one thing that he doesn't know is loyalty, David. He's not a loyalty to his birth nation. He's not a loyalty to his town of Birmingham. The man doesn't know it.
Look, 100%. I actually really like Jack Grealish as a player. I can't hide it, but the fact that he's not just City kind of makes me hate him a little bit because I hate City. Look, I think it's going to be a big ask for him to be able to do it all on his own tomorrow. I know he's going to have that little shitbag Sterling, who I absolutely hate. Who, to be honest with you, I actually think is very overrated. I know they'll probably have Mahrez, but look, I'll be honest with you, just get Højbjerg to 2-foot Grealish straight away, take him out. Aidan Doherty says, Winks is getting his questions ready for Grealish tomorrow. Yeah, look, honestly, if Winks starts, I'm just turning off.
He's not starting. Let's leave that, David. He's not starting tomorrow. This is going to make me mad now.
No, but look, there's a possibility we don't know the 11, but I'm just saying this to you now, Jack. If Harry Winks starts tomorrow, I'm walking off the watch along. I'm not doing it. I am not watching this guy follow Jack Grealish around for 70 minutes, right? Because that's all he's going to get. Asking him where he gets his hair done, what shade, blonde does he use to get the tints right? Where does he buy his little Alice bands to fit round his head to be able to keep the hair out of his eyes? Does he curl it? Does he straighten it? I'm not watching Jack Grealish.
Which mechanic does he use for his Range
being
Rovers?
Chased around by Harry Winks like it's fucking like it's Valentine's Day or like it's kissy catch in the playground. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. If this guy starts tomorrow, I'm not watching the game. I'm putting that out there now. But look, I do want to move on. Because I do want to get the little preview of what's to come. So, guys, I just want to quickly on this. For me, look, we're taking Sky Sports to YouTube, basically, right? This is what we're doing. It's the stats with Jack. And I really hope you guys enjoy Jack running through this. We will let Shane then in off the back of it and let him have his point of views and stuff like that. But guys, this is just a sneak preview of what's to come. We will be doing this, what I'm about to show you, as a full show, on the build up to games and stuff like that. I personally think it's going to be incredible. We're going to start properly next week, but this is just a little preview. And Jack, I'm going to let you take it away, my man.
Absolutely. So this will be a sneak preview into the stats with Jack. I am absolutely looking forward to this. I am going to rely a bit on Shane here, in terms of, discussing the tactics. Please, everyone, don't pay too much attention, I will say, to the lineups here, to the players that we have in front of us. This isn't exactly what I think. This isn't going to be exactly what the predicted lineup is. It's not even going to be that close to it, I think. And as well, that's the case with Man City's. It's just the players that I can use here. So this is how it's going to go. This is going to be, guys, a situation, I think, in the park where maybe Gundogan is going to be playing it into Jesus here. And Gundogan, as we'll be seeing here, he's going to play into Jesus. And I'm thinking this is just going to be normal passages of play. But Gundogan is going to make a mistake here. Gundogan is going to play that ball. And Skip and Højbjerg are going to be absolutely crunching him there. Going to probably put him in a nice Danish sandwich. Maybe with a bit of, English meat in there as well. It's going to be nice and tasty. But what's going to happen is that Højbjerg is going to take that ball off him. He's going to immediately play Lo Celso here across from him because Gundogan, like a lot of players, including myself, David, if I were to give the ball away like that, I would immediately be running at that player, ready to 2-foot him, ready to do something, David. He's probably going to lose his nerve there. And so Højbjerg is going to know exactly what he's going to be doing. He's going to play this ball to Lo Celso here. And what's going to be happening is I'm kind of basing this a lot of maybe of what we've been seeing in the friendlies here, Shane. And Shane, I've been seeing Lucas. He's been making these darting runs from the inside here. And I do think what's going to happen is Lo Celso is going to feed Lucas like this. And maybe, Shane, what do you think? Lucas, do you think he might be doing that again? Doing these kind of like inside runs, to be able to play people in behind, these inside runs of, becoming kind of the creative force in the team? Do you think that's possible? Do you think he'll be doing those similar runs?
So what Lucas has been doing a lot more over the last few games in preseason, he's been getting that from that position that you've got there. He's been receiving that ball. If you go back to that position where he was just inside, he was, here we
go. And Lo Celso plays it.
Right. So that's the position he's been taking up and getting that first touch pass in behind with the runners running on. That is something I think he's adapted to his game He will also then join in the attackers, and he's getting goals. So he's scored, I think, in the last couple of games as well as Lucas, and got a couple of assists. So you can see Nuno's already getting him closer to the forwards and also involved in the build-up play a lot more. He's not isolated on the wide areas. What we saw from Lucas was a bit more of a cameo as to what we're expected to see a lot more this season. He was probably our most creative force, even though he wasn't playing like them threaded balls. He was creating that by beating players. So he'd beat a player and then be in that position that you've got now to be able to play the ball through. So that was very effective. Now he's got that and got the ability to maybe get a goal or two. I think he's going to be a really, really important player.
Absolutely.
Just looking at
so like maybe let's just describe exactly what you were saying. Is even like what you were saying. Normally there might be a player here that might meet him. He'll probably do that beautiful touch that he almost does around the player. You know, what like even a Meg. You know, we've seen plenty of times from him this season. He does love to put the skills on when he's cutting inside, like you were maybe saying. And so Shane, when he receives this ball, who do you think he might be playing in this situation? He's going to be playing Sonny. Is it going to be Bergwijn? Who will we be seeing maybe, making these runs in behind? Could it be both? What are you thinking?
You would expect to see both of them make that run. You'd expect because that's now come into a situation where you've got two focal points as in your forward area. If you're going to play that system, you'd want to have more than just Sonny in that position. So Bergwijn's going to be important that he becomes a very much an inside forward and also makes some runs in and behind Diaz as well. Sonny, obviously a better finisher. You're going to want him to get the ball in that area if you want to get the majority of goals. So that's why I think Sonny's going to be such an important player in that false nine, because his runs are almost instantaneous. They're automatic. He's always thinking about doing that. So he makes the trigger. So Son making that run is a trigger for Lucas to play the pass, which is what we've seen. Bergwijn, again, has been doing that, but he lacks that cutting edge in front of goal for me at this moment in time. But if he can receive the ball there, there's no reason why he can't get shots off a goal, or even linking or lay in what he's done. Exactly the point. But what you've got there is a system which is reliant on players getting in behind. If you now put a Harry Kane in that situation, you're taking away that job from Lucas, because Lucas then would be joining a similar position as Harry Kane was. So where Son is now, you'd probably have you'd have Kane and Lucas in that similar position, and then you've only got exactly because they're playing the same role. Then you've only got one focal point, which would be Son coming in off that left-hand side. So again, play these players such that we can be on the attack. Yeah, Harry Kane's done a great job being that midfielder that drops in and sprays the passes, but that's only because we've been forced him to do that. I think if we can get Sonny, particularly if he's central, his runs are incredible. Just watch what his runs are tomorrow, and he'll be in that position to receive that ball a lot more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For me,
really well said, Shane.
Just for me, look, it's definitely a way of playing without Harry Kane, because, like you said, Harry Kane plays. He likes to pick up the ball. You have Bergwijn running, Son running, whoever's playing in behind. But with this, right, it's exactly what we see in pre-season. The ball comes into the centre midfielder. Lucas makes that run inside, so that option is on if he wants to play it first time. You can also have Tanganga on the overlap if needed. So that gives that centre gives the Celso two passes, one to Lucas inside and Tanganga on the outside. If you give it to Lucas on the inside, right, he's in the area there where Harry Kane would usually be picking up the ball for us, right? But what with the run of Son and Bergwijn running, right, it's absolutely perfect, because if the two of them make the run
down there, David, I know what you're saying. Can, even if we can't play Lucas in this situation, I think David was saying, sorry, David, that Tanganga can overlap here. Lo Celso could then play Tanganga there. Yeah, go on, David.
Yeah, and I just want to say it's important that Bergwijn and Son make that run at the same time, because what it does do is when that ball is played through, whether it's to Bergwijn, whether it's to Son, it gives them the opportunity, whoever gets it, to square it to the other for a tap-in. So it's important that the two of them make that run and not just one of them. It's important that the two of them make that run for this to come into full effect. And it's like what we've seen pre-season. Bergwijn likes to come in from the fullback, between the fullback and between Cancelo and Diaz, make that run like we're showing. Lucas has got the ball in that position like we're showing. Like we've said all pre-season, although he starts on the right, he tends to come into the middle, and that's where he tends to be on the ball an awful lot. And for me, I think he can create havoc. And like it's exactly what we've seen pre-season. What we're showing you here is Lucas coming inside and playing that ball for the runner in behind. We've seen it time and time again this pre-season. I think we've actually seen it 2 or 3 times, and it's yielded results. So I definitely think that's a way we can break them down. But
now, can I just make another point about this? The reason why I think the 4-2-3-1 would be a better system. Let's say, because it's showing here as a 4-3-3, and I can see that Luca's coming in. So which means you're going to have a weak side on your right side. So again, if we lose the ball in that position, and Lucas does lose a ball, you can already see you've got a little bit of an overload if Stones, Mendy receive the ball, which means if Tanganga's high, you're in a lot of trouble.
That's
Where
fair.
we could have a better balance is if Delhi's playing in the 10 behind, Lucas can still make those runs, but then Son doesn't have to make the runs, or Bergwijn doesn't have to make the runs. One of them could maybe drop a little bit deeper because Delhi's great at making them late runs into the box. So you can still have two making the runs. Son, Lucas coming and doing that, but then it doesn't require both Son and Lucas. It would be Dele Alli and Son, or Dele Alli and Bergwijn. If Son then, let's say Son drops back in, if the play does break down, whoever's good at recovering might be able to help out by shuffling across. That's what I think. The other reason for that is if they play with Dele Alli in the 10, he can get immediately onto Rodri if they play through Rodri all the time, which is what they will do. They will look to play into Rodri. You've got to get someone around him to stop them playing out as us. Force them to play wide. Force them to play wide because their strengths are not in the wide areas in terms of controlling the game. Their strengths in the wide areas come from being able to create the space. So what they do well is the forwards, like Jack Grealish, or if it's Sterling, you'll see them hug the touchline all the time. So they're not really involved in the game unless they can get the ball to them. That's why I don't think Jack Grealish will get as much service as he did at Aston Villa, because he's not going to get the ball as much because the role is slightly different. When he gets the ball, his ability means that he's likely to beat the man he's got, but he won't get as many opportunities because he won't be the main man all the time.
Yeah. And then also, even what Shane was saying in terms of the 4-2-3-1, could actually be Dele in that number 10 role. And then that would make Lucas's, creativity role that we're showing here even easier, because what
100%.
Shane was saying is that Lucas can still make these runs, but it just with maybe Dele being there might take a bit of pressure off of Lucas to make this kind of creativity that we're showing here.
Yeah. 100%, 100%. I just want to say, we're on to a winner, Jack, when we woke up. We are Tottenham TV and they're in.
Boy, this is sick.
I just want to say, guys, if you think this is sick, wait until you see what we're about to show you next. Honestly.
Absolutely,
right? Wait until you see. And of course, this says the pre-match pump up tomorrow on We Are Tottenham TV, 100%. Let us know what time, lad, if it's 2:30 or 2:45, just so we can put out the right time. Please, that'd be absolutely brilliant. But Jack, take it away, my man.
Absolutely. So, guys, this is a bit of a 3D version of another way I think that we could probably have some success against City. This one is actually coming out the back. I actually have a sneaky idea, and maybe Shane, could agree with me. Maybe you might shoot me down on this, but I do actually think there might be the occasional moment when we won't just launch it up, up top, for a knockdown. We actually might try to build it out the back to possibly just get a nice quick ball in behind, and maybe while the defense is maybe a bit high, you might think maybe might expose that high line that they like to play. So in this scenario, it would kind of look like this, where it's like Lloris, he's playing the ball from the goalkeeping position, from the goal kick to Dyer here, to Moon Boots. Moon Boots, to be honest, I don't want him having the ball at all. He's probably one touch maximum, two touch maximum. Plays it to Reguilón, who's going to come inside, who's going to come a little deep here. And then as well, he's going to be seeing the likes of Højbjerg, Skip, and Lo Celso. But obviously, all these Man City players are going to see that, and they're going to actually try to, clog up that midfield. They're going to try to clog up those options of Skip and Højbjerg. That meaning I do see Reguilón being able to be a little creative here and maybe see them going the opposite direction and playing our boy Lo Celso here. This could also easily be Dele Alli. He's dropped into these positions before on the left-hand side of our, he's dropped in and received the ball near the left back for us and has been able to, find the space there. I think with Dele this preseason, it's just been that final ball that's kind of been lacking, but he's been getting into this space that Lo Celso is in right now, and he's been able to try to make the pass that we're about to see. I will kind of play this a bit more in full speed, but again, so Dyer receives it here. He's going to be playing Reguilón. Reguilón is going to be finding Lo Celso, cutting across the pitch, who will also be dragging the likes of Rodri, will be dragging the likes of Gundogan. And then you're thinking as well, Sonny, he's just standing up. He looks like he's, about to be receiving it to feet. He looks like he's about to be, holding up the ball for us. Bergwijn's even coming close. As you can tell, he's coming short for it as well. Sonny's going to make a little clever run in behind. Lo Celso is going to dink him in. And then here we go, boys. It's going to be another 2-on-1 situation that we've seen before. I mean, Shane, what do you think? Is it possible that we might be building out from the back, if we have a goal kick?
Yeah.
Do you think that's even possible? Or do you think we might just be more likely just launching it upfield every time?
No. I don't think Nuno wants to just launch. Okay, there's a City. Are City's strengths when you play long? No, they're not. But if they get the ball back and you can't control the game, you're always going to be under pressure. So at some point, you're going to have to try to gain some sort of control. This is all based on movement. If you play out from the back, you've got to have good movement. City, you're going to press you, so you need to break the press. So movement enables you to do that. If you get the players getting into the spaces which you need to do, but you also need someone who can break the press through, just turning a player, beating a player. So once you play it into Dyer, you might be right. You'll have Reguilon might decide to go a little bit higher, which then will take one of them players back. But then you might have Bergwijn come into the space, into midfield.
Mm-hmm.
You might have the forwards actually become midfielders in this situation.
Yeah.
So then you've got a choice of playing that threaded ball to either Dele, Lucas, Son, or who else? Bergwijn, because you need to have that rotation in order to be able to play out from the back. If everybody's static, you're going to get caught out very, very easily.
You're really right.
The only issue I've got is the players that I'm seeing there, particularly Skip, I think definitely a lot better than someone like Winksor is controlling. So if he received the ball with his back to goal, I think he can shield it and still play off. Ideally, someone like Tanganga would be the best player to have in the team against City because he will beat them. You beat one player in their City press, you're onto their back line. And that's when we could come alive because our players, in terms of our pace going forward, is something, not a lot of teams have got as much pace as we have in the front areas. So beating that press is going to be so key to beating this team tomorrow. But if you can't, the other options are to play long. But have we got a target man? Not really. So that's going to be a bit more. We don't have an Ivan Toney like how they played against Arsenal. That's where Harry Kane would come into play. Because if you then play with Harry Kane as a number 9, you can play him as a target man. And we've all seen what he can do as that.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I think I was thinking as well, Shane, is like we will have a bit of a reliance on kind of playing in behind the defense. We will have a bit of a reliance of kind of playing with our feet in front of our defenders. We won't be playing as much with our strikers with their back to goal. I do think there will be plenty of moments where we will just be trying to risk it a bit more. We will just play it in behind and be willing to lose it. But I do.
So this is what I'm saying. If this doesn't work out in terms of this tactic when they're playing, and Harry Kane is on the bench, right? To change this, because you're gonna have to change something, right? Let's now use a target man. Let's get the ball back to front quick as possible. Use Harry. We all seen what he does. He gets it off his chest. Someone hits him in the back. He goes down as a free kick. That's what he's gaming. He's also, if he doesn't get hit, he holds the ball up well and then can play it off. So we've got options. We've got options to play in 2 different ways. And realistically now, I'm seeing that and thinking, yeah, I like the look of that dynamic front three because the movement is so key to getting them behind. If you're going to beat City, you have to get in behind them because they press so high. Beat that first press, get the ball in behind. You're in. You're going to be in.
100%.
Absolutely. Well, David, that's pretty much all I have to show in terms of my idea of it's we could be totally off, David. In terms of how we might score. Football is extremely unpredictable at times, especially with sometimes how we might think we might score the goal. But these are 2 scenarios, David. In terms of how I think Spurs might be able to punish City tomorrow, give them that spanking that we're talking about. But as well, David, this is a bit of a preview into the stats with Jack.
Yeah, and guys, this is what I want to say. Look, let me know what you guys think of that. Because basically the idea, look, today was just giving you a little snapshot of what to expect. But honestly, going forward, what we're going to be doing before for games, whether it be the night before or the morning of or whatever, what we're going to be doing going forward is basically bringing showing you how opposition teams like to attack, what areas of the pitch, or how they like to defend, whether they like to press, sit back, how we like to do the same attack. Whether we like to press or sit back, what areas of the pitch do you like to press? We'll be bringing you everything you need to know with this. We'll be showing you how they like to create their attacks, how they like to score their goals, any reoccurring teams. So, guys, we are going to be dedicating a show to that. Look, I think it's going to be mind-blowing. and I hope you guys do too. So I really would like to know what you think in the section below, or in the comment section here now even, and just let us know basically what your thoughts are, because honestly I think it's mind blowing. It's something that it's a point of difference is what I'm going to say. And it's
David,
look,
just quickly on that comment that's gone back, that one before, I think there was a comment about you're open to the counter attack. I think it was, yeah. If you lose the ball in the one that we showed earlier with Lucas comes in and then it's all congested in that middle area. If you lose the ball, we are going to be exposed if your fullback's high. This is where the double pivot, if you play it, one of them will have to come across.
Yeah.
One of them will have to split to come across. And this is why I think Højbjerg and Skip are better at that than Winston Sissoko. Sissoko can do it, but he likes direct traffic. He likes to point, yeah, you go there, instead of doing the job. What I've seen, Højbjerg is a soldier. He'll get across. Skip is a very similar type of player in that sense, and I think he'll also help alongside the defense. So I'm hopeful that even if we break down, we can still recover and then be able to get the players back to get back into shape anyway. But he's right in that comment. We are going to be exposed.
And Shane, also quickly, you even said that when we were showing how we might score through the right flank, through the right wing, you were saying the same thing. Tanganga could still get exposed in that situation, and then we obviously know with Reggie, he can get exposed because of how 100%. Much he likes to attack. So honestly, Shane, you brought it up in both scenarios, so I do appreciate that. And maybe a way for us to fix it is 4-2-3-1, like you were saying.
Yeah. 100%. So yeah, guys, look, that's just, like I said, it's just a quick sneak preview. Honestly, we're going to be doing a show every week, for every opposition we play. We're going to bring you everything you need to know. We're going to bring you not only in words, but you can see it on screen, in visuals too. And like I said, don't get me wrong, this isn't a dig at any other channels, and I don't want it to be, but it's a point of difference. It's something that no other channel, that's creating Spurs content anyway that I've seen that has. So, guys, I hope you really do enjoy it and stick with us through the season. We are going to perfect it, of course. We will, over time, get it into a point where it's just perfect for you guys. But I really, really, really do hope that you guys have enjoyed this. And Rob, kind good to see you, my man. I'm either or, to be honest with you. I'm just happy that the Dubs are gone, to be honest with you. I'm just happy that them Jack Keens are out. So that's what I say, my man. But look, guys, moving on. Jack, who do you think the key player for Tottenham will be tomorrow? Just quickly, before I get your answer, I'm going to say for me, it's going to be Son. Look, this guy, he scored in the last 3 games for Tottenham at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Man City. He scored in all 3. So it looks like, he likes to find the net. And apart from Man City, the only other team he has scored more goals against is Southampton. 11 versus Southampton in total and 6 versus City. Son loves a goal against City. For me, that's who my key player is going to be tomorrow. But Jack, who's yours?
David, to be honest, it's Sonny for me as well, but maybe just to be a little bit different, I'm going to go with my boy Lucas here. But Lucas, he's been sensational, I feel like, in the preseason. Of course, it's been against much weaker opposition. But like I said before, Lucas is the one who's every single preseason game against some of these teams had looked like it's almost illegal to play him against some of these teams. Like, it's honestly not fair. They have families, David. Like I said before, he's looked unbelievable in this preseason. And like even Shane was describing with that creative role that he's be having, and maybe even with Dele in the team as well, it seems like Lucas's creative role seems to come out a bit more. I would like to see Lucas be our main man tomorrow, David.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. And Shane, your main man for Tottenham tomorrow?
I'm gonna go from a defensive and attacking perspective. So from an attacking perspective, I think it's going to be Lucas, because I think Lucas has got the attributes that are needed to be able to beat City. One, he can beat a man, so he can break the press, play that ball in. We look and we see now he can play a threaded ball in. So the runs that Son and Bergwijn are going to make are going to be important for him to play that. His movement as well. So from an attacking sense, I think he's going to be the key player for us. Because Son's going to do his job, but Son, I don't think he's going to be as creative as someone like Lucas is going to be because of what he's got to do. From a defensive point of view, and I'm not going to go over defender here, I think whoever plays, if they play the 4-2-3-1, whoever plays in that role where they've got to get alongside Rodri or Fernandinho, that is going to be another key element of this. Stop them playing. Stop them. Force City to either play wide or play long. Those 2 things you get them to do, you're going to have more of a chance to win the game. Because if they play long, you would hope that we can deal with the aerial threat better than they can. And if they play wide, the players who are in the wide areas are not as talented as the players centrally, in my opinion. Certainly in the defensive area. Up front, Mahrez, Grealish, obviously, but from a playing out from the back and defense, I want them to give it to Zinchenko. I'd want them to give it to Cancelo or even Walker if they're playing. I'd want them to have the ball.
Yeah,
100%. And look, I think we'll all agree we need everyone from 1 to 11. But look, guys, there's our players that we think we need to keep on tomorrow. Let us know what yours is in the comment section, guys. Let us know what yours is. And look, 2 more questions, and then we're going to end it off there. But well, actually, no, I don't even need to go through one of them because the formation. Look, Shane's already given his thoughts on it. Look,
really good answers on that.
Yeah. So there's no need to go into that. So look, we'll go straight to the last question, and we'll start with you, Jack, and then we'll go to Shane. But how important is it to get off to a good start tomorrow?
It's actually pretty important, David, but I don't want to put too much pressure on Nuno. I think if we have, a similar performance maybe to something like Chelsea, or let's say if we didn't have a strong first half, but then we prove to have a stronger and better second half and maybe make a comeback, maybe get an equalizer, something like that, I would still be absolutely happy. Of course, we've been kind of bigging ourselves up, taking a bit of digs at City, thinking we're going to smash them, but realistically, it is hopefully going to be, or not hopefully, it is probably going to be a very tight game. And it is probably something that we're going to have to live with. But then again, if Nuno can stay strong, if he doesn't, let us get maybe into a 6s and 7s situation, I really do think that he could actually really motivate this squad. Considering that last season, we were at one point top of the Premier League after losing to Everton in the first game. If Nuno is able to save face, get a point, if not a win against City, David, that'd be absolutely incredible. And I do really think Nuno can stand up to that pressure.
Yeah,
and it is vital. It is absolutely vital. It is vital because the first 6 games for us are very difficult. We do have the 2 top teams basically in that first 6 games with Chelsea and Man City. These are going to be very difficult, and even with I think an Aston Villa mixed in there as well, it is going to be difficult for us. But I do think if he was able to get us with a draw, maybe a point, maybe even a smashing victory as well, David, we'd be flying high.
Yeah, no, 100%. Look, we'll all be flying high tomorrow, and it probably won't be off the stuff you can smoke either, but just be off the tree.
Just off the tactics, David. Just off the tactics alone.
But look, Shane, my man, how important is it we get off to a good start tomorrow?
Okay, so 2 things in football is performances and results. Usually, when we talk about professional game, it's always the results that matter. But for me, I look at it this way. In the early part of the season, it should be about performances. The game and the league is not going to be won against City tomorrow. So as the early part of the season, get your performances right, know how you're going to play, know your strategy, know your tactics. You can then build on those results. When you get to the latter part of the season, it's always about results. Can you get over the line? Can you beat a team? You're not expected to. You've got loads of injuries, you've got suspensions. Can you just get a result? That's the latter part of the season. So for me tomorrow, as long as I'm seeing a development in how they've played in pre-season, the result doesn't matter as much. Of course, I want us to win, but if I see strategy, if I see, right, I can understand that passage of play, I see what the right back's doing, I understand why he's tucked across. Oh, I can see why Skippers and Højbjerg are in those positions. Yeah, I can see Dele Alli's actual role in this team. That's what I want. I don't want to see what we had last season and inside, score the first goal, and then we're all sat back thinking, it's just defensive football, a counter-attack. No, I want to see us building a tactical formation, a way of playing that we can adapt to playing a team like City, because they are the benchmark. Let's not get it wrong. City are the benchmark of any team that we're going to play. But we've got to see how we can perform against them and what tactics we can employ to beat their system. And then going forward, that's what I want to be able to see Nuno do against the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool's, Arsenal, how he adapts tactically to each of those teams. So tomorrow is more about the performance than the result for me. But I don't want us to get beat. Put it that way.
I really agree with that, Shane. I do really
100%. And look, I'm just going to say, look, for me, I do think it's important we get off to a good start. Whether it's a win or draw, I think it's a great start to the season. But unless we're absolutely disgraceful tomorrow, I wouldn't be guys out the pram unless we get bet. If we get bet, because look, they are the Premier League champions. We have to remember that. And for me, look, it's only the first game of the season. So I would, although you can get angry. It all depends. It all depends if we get smacked or not, and it all depends whether players have learned their lessons.
I don't think we will. I don't think we will. To be
No,
honest.
I don't think we will either. I don't think we will either. And Premier Hotspur TV says, "Evening lads, great show as always, and I got a good feeling about tomorrow. 2-1 Spurs and Kane gets the winner." I've been saying 2-1 all week, and a lot of people are saying 2-1. Everyone's feeling confident tomorrow. That could be the Spurs and a Simon, but who knows? Everyone, please do get over and check out Simon on Premier Hotspur TV. Another great channel. And the owl lad, he says, "What's your midfield for tomorrow?" I'll be honest with you, Dad. Look, the idea of this is to leave you wanting more. So look, you want to know mine and Jack's formation. You want to know our starting 11. Check out the channel tonight. We'll be putting out our starting 11 as a separate video. So guys, get out there and check that out. But look, honestly, that's it, guys. That's it from us. If you have enjoyed the stream, do get in the comments and let us know that you've enjoyed it. Look, why not send in a super chat, to show us that you enjoyed it and show your appreciation. Also, let me know what you think of the tactics board. But before we do end off, I want to go to Shane, and I want to know personally what to expect from Tottenham away.
Well done.
Or not Tottenham away, sorry, my bad. Paxton Road TV. I know everyone else in here does too. And so Shane, look, plug your channel.
Oh, thank you very much. Firstly, again, thank you for having me on.
No, Shane.
Absolutely super.
10 out of 10 performance. He captained us today, David. He captained us. He was here tonight. He was here tonight.
I was saying to him before, he doesn't understand how much the Harris Army love him. They're always saying, get Paxton Road back on. Get Paxton Road. More of these guys. More of these guys. So we're giving them what they want.
Yeah, I love coming on. I love talking football with you guys because the knowledge about it. It's not just a passionate fan. It's passionate fans with knowledge about the game and how we can improve things. And there's positivity as well. We can all be negative. That's the first thing I want to put out there. But yeah, in terms of this channel, everybody out there, subscribe. Look out for Jack as well. That's going to be good. I know you're going to be doing a few things with Darius as well. So again, all these things coming together, it's mind blowing. Paxton Road TV, you can catch us as the name of the channel suggests, Paxton Road TV. We are on tomorrow. We're going to be doing our reaction shows. We do preview shows. We do talking points on a Tuesday. We've got Sid Says, who does a Monday and a Friday in terms of transfers. And we're now also got a new member of our team, Jody, who's going to be doing a player rating show the day after the results. So that might be Monday this week. So look out for that. But just like you guys, we're just trying to, keep the content which the viewers want to see. That's the most important thing. What these guys who are watching, who are smashing the likes, who are sending super chats, giving the comments, it's all about the fans. It's all about you guys and making sure we do these things for you. So yeah, we're doing exactly the same thing as the Irish Hotspur and Jack are doing currently.
Absolutely. And everybody, it's in the description below. You can't miss it. It's down in the description below. Please check them out. It's absolutely class lads over there. I absolutely adore Darius. Shane has absolutely smashed it tonight. I do really think you guys have to check them out. I really do rate them so highly. Please check them out. It's in the description below, everybody.
100% to me. Ma's in here. She's saying a great show. And she also said, I played FIFA against the Irish Hotspur and won. Let me tell you about this. Right, so this was actually back when I was like 4 years of age, right? This was back when I was 4 years of age, and I didn't even know how to play the game. I just used to play it when my dad was in work, mess around with it. And in fairness, now she did beat me. I'll give it to her, and she doesn't even know how to play, which is probably more embarrassing. But look, I think she was probably threatening me, grounding me or something if I won. So I couldn't do it. But guys, there's an embarrassing story about me for you. I lost to my ma in FIFA. When I was 4 years of age. So there you are, guys. There you are. But look, Jack, anything you want to plug? Where can people find you, Mama?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. It's becoming even closer where the actual YouTube channel will be created. We're practically nearly there, David. We're almost like a 99%, loading wheel, almost like a rainbow wheel, David. We're so close. flatcapeurotalk is on the way, David. We are so close to being there. It is going to be, like I said before in the beginning of the show, it's going to be an extension of the Harris Army here. It's going to be an extension of the Flat Cap Army, where we are going to be talking about everything practically outside of Tottenham. We're going to be talking about the biggest Champions League games, some of the bigger European news in the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, whatever you're looking for, maybe even occasional Turkish derby as well, especially when you're thinking of some of those Istanbul games. They're absolutely unbelievable, David. Might be a bit of 18 plus kind of content, for those games. Yeah. But I will say, David, if you're really interested in, you know, plenty of things outside of Tottenham, if you kind of feel like you're, you know, a football fan of kind of the whole universe, you know, you like just all the football, you can't get enough of it, I do think Flat Cap Euro Talk, David, is going to be their home. So please, 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 please check it out. There's already a Twitter page down below. You know, you can follow me personally on Twitter and I will follow you back there. But if you're looking for your kind of your European top 5 news, it is going to be coming from Flat Cap Euro Talk. The Twitter is down below. The Instagram has been made. I will be linking that as well. But eventually, David, the channel is going to be coming out in just a day or two now. We're going to have the content out, but everybody keep an eye out for Flat Cap Euro Talk.
No, 100%. I can't wait for it to come out. And guys, I will be helping out massively on the channel. I'll be appearing on it as well. So when we get any guests on,
your mum's exposing you. You was 13. She said you weren't 4. She said you were 13.
No, do you know what? Do you know how I can clear this? Because I was living in England at the time. We were living in England at the time when she bet me. So that's when she bet me. So I definitely wasn't 13. So ma, stop telling lies. I know you're trying to like, guys, you know it's bad when your ma's bantering you. You know it's bad. You know it's bad.
Quality. That's quality.
But no, big up.
Oh, jeez.
But guys, look, the Irish Hotspur. Look, first of all, I do want to say, please get over and show Paxton Road the support. Honestly, guys, you guys love them. We love them. I think they're an absolute fantastic channel. And I'll be honest, every time I go on, I have an absolute riot. I have a great time. We have a good laugh. And for me, yeah, look, I think you should check them out. I think they're one of the best channels out there. I really do. Some great personalities. You have Mike, you have Darius, Don P, who was on the other day. There's a lot of other people linked up into it, guys. So please make sure you do get over there and check them out. They're absolutely brilliant. And their new intro is sick. I love the intro as well. I love it.
It is sick.
It's worth checking them out for that alone. Guys, with the Flat Cap Euro Talk, when we do get it up and running and out next week, I really would love you to show the same love that you show my channel, Paxton Road TV, and every other channel that comes on, guys. I really would love you to get over there and show the same support. Smash the subscribe on and tune in when the streams are live and stuff. In terms of what to expect, what's coming up on this channel, just quickly, Sveker Giza. I hope I pronounced that right. I hope
David, the Hungarian.
Yeah, he's Hungarian. But look, even if I did butcher it, that's what we're calling you now, my man. Sveker Giza. So I'll get used to the pronunciation. But thank you for becoming a channel member. And I hope to see you on the fan show Monday. So to have your say on everything. Look, guys, what's coming up on the channel? Of course, we tomorrow we'll be doing a review of the game again, 9:30, 10 o'clock, depending on what time I get finished on other channels and stuff like that. But we'll be having a review here tomorrow night. On Monday, we'll be putting out a player ratings video, and we'll be doing a fan show as well on Monday. And if you guys want, you can check me out on Spurs Related at I think it's 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. tomorrow. I'll put it out on Twitter anyway. And then, look, we'll have stats with Jack debuting next week and a lot more. So, guys, honestly, I'm absolutely pumped for this season. I really am. And look, as always, make sure you do smash the like. Make sure you smash the subscribe on the channel. I do want to say a massive thank you to you, the Harris Army, for tuning in, for all the support you give me, all the super chats you help support the channel with and everything else. Honestly, guys, you have no idea, and I keep saying this to you, and I will keep reiterating it. And that's a big word for me, and I smashed the pronunciation. But look, what I will say is honestly, these channels, every channel on YouTube, it's nothing without your guys' support. None of them. Yeah. They are nothing without your support. Your support is so valued. And I really, really do appreciate you guys. I just want you guys to know that. Look, we're all going into a new season together. We've kept this place as positive as we can over the negativity that's kind of happened around Tottenham over the last season. We've kept it as positive as we can. I want to go into the new season with renewed optimism, renewed positivity. And look, guys, I want to have a great season together with all you guys. I really do. So look, that's it. I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to stop rambling. Comments here quickly. My ma's probably back in here pissing me off.
That's the best one. Oh, your ma's killing you, man. She's killing you.
Yeah, she's killing me too. She's ruining my rep. She says, it was here and you thought you were king because you were beating all your friends. No, it wasn't. And I am the king. Trust me, I am the king. Harry Singh says, great channel. Dave Tyson says, great show. Shane, stop laughing because she's going to be sitting there now, thinking she's hilarious, lad. She's going to be thinking she's absolutely hilarious.
She's quality.
Don't encourage
quality, man.
Nah, she is. You know, I have the utmost respect for my mother and father. Believe me, they've read me well. But guys, look, over and out. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. I want to hear your comments on everything we've spoke about here today. The Kane situation, Romero, you know, everything else, even the stats with Jack. Get in the comments below. Let us know what your thoughts and everything else are. Again, it's another great way to help support the channel. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Really pushes us out there. So if you could get the comments in as well, even if you want to say, look, Dave's a prick or Dave's a legend or whatever you want, just put it in there. I couldn't care less. But guys, honestly, big yourselves up. And as always, in Nuno we trust. And come on, you Spurs. Come on. The fucking season's back. Actually, fuck this. I've been waiting for this. The season's back. The season's back. I cannot wait. I want to slap that.
I can't wait. He's getting me pumped already. Oh, shit.
I want to destroy him. I want to destroy Oil Money FC. Honestly, like I said, around the Etihad this season, they're going to have the oil prices instead of advertisement prices. I'm absolutely sick of these guys. It's about time we put them back down where they belong, and that's Division 1, Division 2 without the money. So look, guys, honestly, I'm pumped. Join me for the pre-match pump-up over on We Are Tottenham TV at 2:30 tomorrow. Harris Army, I love you, and I'll see you again soon.
Come on, you Spurs. And Nuno,
come on, you Spurs.
There we go.